Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're live, episode 123, 4. We're in that area. Sorry, I got to turn the mic just a camera a little bit to get Andy in shot because he's leaning back too far.
I was going to move.
I gotta get that face in there,
That's
man.
slacker.
You're the face that runs the place here. We are live. We're going to talk the Intercontinental Championship. We have a few guests with us in studio tonight, which we'll get to in a moment. First, we want to thank our people over at Patreon. That's what I want to do first. Yes, Patreon. We have a $1 and $5 tier. Pretty much helps with general support right now. We will add more content if more people join and give us fun ideas to do. But until then, we want to thank Tommy B, the Tree of Life Metaphysical Shop, Hyreth in Other Words, Jay and Austin Blackwell.
Jay Mysterio.
Jay Mysterio, yes. And then also we want to thank our sponsor, Abaddon Tattoo Studio, unique professional experience nestled in the small town of Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, and also Pottsville, Pennsylvania. They provide high-quality tattoos and piercings in a relaxed, professional, and sterile environment. The links are in our link tree. You can go check that out alongside of the rest of our awesome network here at the IWEP Network. We have interviews with everyday people, Banging Beers, Not Cool in High School, Truth Behind Illusion, Tornado Tag Podcast, what you're listening to. Welcome back, Hyreth in Other Words, and Stoned and Nerdy. And also our other wrestling family podcast in here, We Like Wrestling Podcast. So go check out all the stuff over at the IWP Network, or you can go over to the website at www.iwepnetwork.com. That's simple. We have a page. It costs too much to give it a domain name, so we kept the generic one. So it's podpage.com/Tornado Tag Podcast. All one word, no spaces.
Was it a lot for a year?
Like it's a little bit. Yeah. It's like $180 per page.
Oh,
so I was like, we're just gonna do
a domain name.
The domain name is $12, but for this website that I use.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, where are you getting your domain?
Oh,
for the year, $180 for the year.
For the upkeep, probably.
Yeah. So I only did the IWP Network, but the live chat is open. You guys can come in and say hi. Dallas is already here. Dallas says, "What's up, guys? What's going on?"
Dale.
If you are watching, tell us in the chat your favorite Intercontinental champion. Tell us one of your favorite
and
matches.
why is it the Mountie?
Yeah.
Yes.
That is your other question.
Mm-hmm. And we'll get into a little bit what's going on in wrestling and some independent news and some fun stuff. First, I'll start with Brian and Jack are here today.
I'm always here.
Brian's always here, but the Project Humanoid boys are both in attendance tonight, and you guys just announced recently on your last episode of Pedantic and also on Murder My Dude about a new show that you have coming out, which is also wrestling themed. So why don't you tell us about it?
It is called Cheesesteak Suplex. That is the name of it. And we recorded last Tuesday, and it'll be dropping this Saturday night at midnight into Sunday.
Cool.
So,
what can people expect?
Wrestling, sports talk, just general. Usually it's going to be, I think the way that it's structured now is the first half is going to be wrestling, second half is going to be whatever.
Kind of whatever, yeah. We'll split it up. So be like, literally on this first episode, we said, if you just came for the wrestling stuff, you can go now. So that's kind of what we're doing here.
Nothing to say.
Yeah, so it's wrestling, sports talks, and everything in between.
Yeah, and we're going to try to keep from episode 2 on about an hour. The first one goes about an hour 45.
Mm-hmm.
I say a lot, almost as much as Jim Cornette. So that's a lot. He says,
or Bret Hart. Well,
you know something.
So it's
I'm not going to stand for the Bret Hart slander. Yeah. I will walk out.
Stinking hyena.
It's fun. It's fun. You should check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Murder My Dude and Pedantic. So I'm excited to see the newest show.
Yeah, we retired Pedantic. We did.
I like the hiatus idea, or maybe if you do like a once a month
sabbatical.
Like if you really have something you're passionate about, I wouldn't table it. I would be like, maybe it's a once a month podcast.
What was the theme of that podcast?
History, just the etymology of words, delving into where's like. For example, if you're going to say you dive into something or you delve into something, we would just kind of tell you which one. What's the website that there's like that
Grammarly, maybe? I don't know.
There's like a Grammar Girl, I think her name is.
Grammar Girl, yeah. Grammar Girl was I think the actual website was called like Quick and Dirty Tips.
Yeah, we're not really that crazy about it, but we just like history.
Right, gotcha.
But like when you got away from the etymology words and you were doing like the EC Comics one and all the other ones, like I thought they were fun ideas. So I wouldn't scrap it. I would table it and just do like once a month. Like if you have a fun topic that's not sports or wrestling related, just throw it on that show.
We honestly just weren't getting a lot of listeners,
but it was still new. How many episodes were you in?
15.
Yeah, that's still
15, and because we were doing it every other week, and we started at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm. And you're in a different niche.
Yeah. So it's harder to sell that to somebody.
It is.
It's way harder to sell that than it is to sell true crime or wrestling. So,
Yeah.
so we're doing true crime wrestling from now on.
And some of those little things might fit into like the second half of this show. So we have the wrestling leading off and then kind of a little more free form afterwards. So check it out. Sample
Yeah.
it for yourself and then you can see what it's all about.
Luckily with wrestling, you could do a lot of true crime. You could,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
We're going to be Dark Side of the Ring,
Yeah.
the podcast.
And the other voice you're hearing, Tyler, is here with us. He was here a while with us. You went and started. You were admins and a writer for a lot of different wrestling pages that were very popular. And then you were like, "Fuck it, I'm doing my own." So you created All Yaz Wrestling, which is a
Yes,
Facebook
sir.
page or community. Is it a group page or a fit like page?
It's a like page, but
It's like
it's but kind of a little bit of both. Though.
Yeah.
A lot of comments.
and it also spun into a podcast that you just released your first episode on. So tell us a little bit about your page and how it spun into the podcast.
Yeah, the page kind of went exactly how you said. I wrote for a lot of pages, and I kind of kept finding myself just getting a lot of censorship in terms of what I can and what I cannot talk about. So I was like, listen, if I'm going to be able to share my opinions and not feel like, because I didn't want to share my opinions and people blame the page. You know what I mean? Like if I shit on something, I don't want them to be like, oh, well, this whole page hates this thing.
Yeah.
Because that's not what I'm trying to do.
This new
You
age
know.
wrestling is like, if you're not fully on board with
Right.
what's main culture, then you're a pariah and they get rid of you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I get labeled a lot as like an AEW mark or a WWE hater, which is not true. I mean, I love wrestling in general, you know? So I was like, I'm going to make my own page and just talk about whatever I want. Nobody else telling me like, hey man, like if you could just like tone it down a bit, like I'd appreciate it. Cause like all these messages, people are saying that like, we hate WWE and and I'm like, all right, I don't want to get anybody any trouble. I'd rather just go make my own page. Made my own page. My buddy was like, hey, let's make a podcast. So we started a podcast called the Don't Sell It Wrestling Podcast. We have our first episode up. I'm not sure if it's going to be weekly or maybe bi-weekly. We're still trying to figure out the schedule. But yeah, I mean, just pretty much your normal wrestling podcast. We both kind of just go back and forth a lot. We both have different opinions on things. He's a lot more, I would say, of an old school fan. And I'm more, I don't really like the term old school because I mean, I've been watching since 1995, but I like more of the, the spinny shit and the high flying shit. And he kind of doesn't. So it's fun that way.
Those goddamn Outlaw Mud show.
Exactly.
Skateboard
Exactly.
fucks. A lot of comments.
Yeah,
right
we're
there.
not ignoring the comments. Trust me, so keep them coming. If you have some more moments, throw them in there.
Before we get into that too, also happy National Podcast Day.
Here we
everybody.
are.
Podcast day. Oh.
Yes.
Today's so if you are listening, celebrate National Podcast Day by sharing this to your page and tell people to subscribe and, and support and show us love. That'd be amazing. Yeah, and anyway, the links are below too. You can go check out the website and merch page, all that great stuff. But happy podcast day officially to all of us at this table who are podcasters.
That's everyone.
Yeah, we did it, boys.
We did a podcast like everybody else in the world does now.
Bunch of white guys with a microphone in front of them.
A group of white men.
Exactly
It's called
what
a
we needed
podcast.
is more white guys' opinions.
Yep. I try not to give too much opinion, but anyway.
I like mansplaining.
Mansplaining.
That's the best.
And
I love
man
it.
spreading. I'm doing it now.
Oh my god.
So current news.
There's quite a bit of
I
it.
was gonna say before that.
What?
There was this guy I work with. Well, I don't work with, but he's a really big idiot.
Yeah.
And he goes up to me today and he says, "Is it true that the Undertaker signed with AEW?" I go, "What?"
I was being like, yes.
And he goes, "Yeah, I read it on the internet." And I was like, "No."
He got
I
that
said,
from,
"Well,
he got that from All Yaz Wrestling.
He goes, "It said what his name is." I go, "What was his name?" I forget. And I was like, "You fucking idiot."
I'd have been like, yeah.
Yeah, I should have said yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
let him
and he's gonna
return.
wrestle, cruiserweight style.
He's gonna wrestle Sting.
Like, what the fuck? Some people, Kayfabe isn't dead. Look at that. Somebody made that stupid post, and then someone believed it.
Yeah. What can we
That is
make up?
amazing.
Yeah.
But in one of the news I'll throw out there first that I just came to the top of my head here. Very excited for someone we got a chance to work with at IWTV 100. I got to watch her match with Tony
yes.
Deppen. Trisha Dora officially signed with ROH Women's Division, which is really, really cool. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of her work.
They're really trying to build something with that women's division. They used to be called the Women of Honor Championship. Now it's just called the ROH Women's World Championship. They had a big tournament for it now, and they're really trying to build that division up. And
I'll tell you what, if
that is a great
ROH,
signing for it.
I couldn't name one woman in Ring of Honor right now.
Besides her, the only other one I could think of is the chick that was on NWA. She was the champ. Not Camilla, the champ before her.
Serena Deeb?
Allison Kay.
Allison Kay.
Oh,
yeah.
she's in ROH now?
Yeah.
Good. That's a good pickup.
but like, here's the thing: if ROH turns around and says, like, there's literally probably a good 15 to 20 handful of really talented independent women wrestlers out there right now that they can snatch up and build a really good division.
Yeah,
Like,
there's plenty of
Well,
talent
ROH
out
could
there.
do a lot if
Yeah,
they
I
spent the
mean,
money to.
and
but they don't.
I'm just telling about what we see on the Northeast coast. You know what I mean? Like our
Yeah.
Northeast coast, we're really fortunate to have really talented female wrestlers.
And their champion now is Roxy, who I think was a Booker T trainee.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm familiar.
And that women's division can give some traction.
I know for a while it was like
I
Kelly
also
Klein.
couldn't
was
tell you who the
Yeah,
world
yeah,
champion
Kelly Klein.
is. Oh, Kelly Klein was
of
not
ROH.
not good.
champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you either.
I believe it's still it's
No,
Bandito.
Oh,
Bandito.
yeah, that's
Bandito.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I heard
Bandito.
Rouge's contract is.
Yeah, apparently at the
soon.
end of the year, and they're talking about is he going to go to AEW or
Yeah.
are they going to reunite Los Ingobernables?
Yeah, he's hurt right now. He destroyed his knee.
Yeah, Bandito is the.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And the
I
other
here's
news,
one. Who's the tag champs in ROH?
is it still the Briscoes?
I would.
Is
That's
it?
a safe
I
bet.
mean-
that's a safe bet. The Briscoes.
It's always the
every other
Briscoes,
year
isn't
they
it?
are. So
Can you name any other tag teams?
Oh, so apparently Roxy is only 19 years old.
Whoa,
So she's
wow.
she's an up and comer.
Wow.
I do not know. Let's
If you have a 19-year-old world champion, yeah, you should probably snatch up the independent scene.
yeah.
probably.
No, there's plenty of talented women out there that are
Yeah.
available.
It's just ROH. The people that own it don't like to spend money.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, dude. The hard thing about Ring of Honor, like if you try to watch it on TV, they're doing shows with no fans.
And that's
Yeah,
just
that's
hard
That's
to.
just like
That's hard to
that's a
keep it,
death.
man.
Like when Impact was doing, it's like get some fucking fans.
Dragon Lee and Kenny King are the tag team champions, and
Okay.
Dragon Lee is also the TV champion,
Oh,
having defeated Tony Deppen.
wow! I wasn't aware they were a tag team.
Ooh. And now I think he's being challenged by Danhausen, right? Danhausen trying to go for that TV championship.
If you say so.
I
I couldn't tell you last time I watched Ring of last time I watched Ring of Honor was at the very beginning of the pandemic. I started watching the Pure tournament.
Oh, okay, I watched
The Pure tournament was great, actually. Though.
the,
I became a very big fan of Fred Yehai in that.
the last pay per view before everyone left for AEW,
Okay.
and then the one with New Japan that don't count because nobody
Yeah, that
watched
was
the
the
ROH
yeah.
stuff.
Do you guys watch Danhausen?
I haven't really seen too much of him.
Yeah,
Just
I haven't at
small
all.
hair. I hear more of his interviews than I actually
like-
hear his wrestling.
I like him.
Yeah, he's funny.
Even Cornette likes him.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, I just don't ever want to watch him wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he likes Danhausen.
Interesting.
He's really entertained by him.
The only thing I really saw him do was the
'Cause
run
he's
in
evil.
run in during the Depp and Ron Funches match. He
Yeah.
had a big run in the middle of that.
Which
He's fun.
if they
He's
do a
very
Depp and Danhausen thing, I'd be really excited to watch that.
Oh, that will happen.
That's
That will happen
yeah.
for sure.
Deppen's going to be around this area more on the 8th of October.
Oh, yeah,
a
true.
little less than a week from now. True Wrestling in Berwick.
Yes,
Isn't
That's
the Salvation Army.
Fandango's going to be
Yep.
there?
Yeah. Fandango's going to be
and
there.
Matt Seidel.
Deppen is wrestling Matt
Johnny
Sydal.
Curtis.
ROH
Wow.
versus AEW. Matt Sydal and Tony Deppen.
Deppen just wrestled Evil Uno like 2 days ago at PWG.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll probably if we don't have anything going on that True show. Oh no, I do. I'll be at the
Yeah,
office
you'll be at the
Fest.
office thing. Yeah.
Fuck me. All
Stupid,
right.
not wrestling stuff.
Yeah, stupid.
Stupid. Real bullshit.
Real life.
There you go.
Look at him going to spend
somebody-
time with his wife instead of watching wrestling.
Eli
What a
dropped it
jerk.
for us. Dragon Lee, Kenny King are current tag team champions. Thank you so much. Chio with the share. Thank you so much, man. Header, stop staring so hard at the monitor. You're going to go blind.
That's what I was reading.
Yeah. We'll throw some out here quick. Someone says favorite is Michaels with the white belt as a classic. Carlito when he beat Shelton Benjamin.
Oh God.
A little later. a little beyond our time.
He's younger.
Yeah.
So that's his generation.
Is that how we're going to lead off? To everybody's going to give their favorite Intercontinental champion. That's a good start, I
You
think.
like that?
Yes.
We have any more news? We could talk a little bit about.
Shane McMahon's no longer a
Shane
WWE
McMahon.
contract.
Yeah, according to
don't-
Fightful.
Don't see him going anywhere.
No.
He's all elite now.
He'd be a good manager or something.
He would be a good
something.
heel there because
Yeah.
everybody hated the best in the world. Everybody was sick of him. It would be as
I
close
love
as he-
him.
Shane
You do
McMahon.
love Shane.
But
McMahon.
everyone in the
Shane
back
McMahon.
in the backstage that like
Yeah,
he's the best McMahon.
Yeah, easy to get along with.
Yeah.
Very personable.
If he was in Dan Lambert's role, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I pitched it in the group chat that he should be like the GM figure of AW, but the only problem with that
Yeah.
is there's so many people who actually think, because they're morons, that the McMahons actually own AEW.
Yeah,
That,
then
that would
they
like
own
would
it.
make it official. They'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, see, I knew it.
I'm
There are
also-
wrestlers that think that though. Sorry
Yeah.
to cut you off. There are wrestlers that think the same thing that Vince secretly owns. It's like, come on, Shad Khan could buy Vince.
Yeah.
Yes. Eli also said favorite IC champ Triple H and the match, the ladder match against him and The Rock at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that was a good one.
98
That's when
against
Triple H had the
Kane.
purple pants.
I
Yeah.
always thought that match was a little bit overrated.
And the
Like it's
very
okay, but it's
Triple
not.
H also blows out his knee in it too.
Yeah, that's true.
Chio said Bret Hart or Mr.
Can't
Perfect.
go wrong with those two.
Those
I
are
think
very good ones.
That's all we got
Speaking
right
of
now.
their SummerSlam match,
There's another really good one.
Yeah.
As far as Shane McMahon being like an authority figure in AEW, the only thing with that is after 20 years of nothing but heel authority figures, I'm good with the next 20 years having
Yeah.
no heel authority
Yeah.
figures. I'm fine with that not being a thing in wrestling.
I like
anymore.
how AEW does not have a authority.
Yeah, I mean, they'll
Tony
talk
Khan, but
about
they-
Tony
like-
Khan.
Yeah,
But
Tony will
he's
come
not
out
on
once in a
screen. You don't
while,
come out
but-
Yeah,
and cut promos.
They talk about him like they used to talk about Jim Crockett and Jim
Yeah.
Crockett promotion.
Or my favorite, Jack Tunney.
I
Jack
love
Tunney
Jack
was the
Tunney.
best. Yeah, he would show up like twice a
Yeah.
year, make
Yeah.
some proclamation, and then that would be it.
Mhm.
Who was Jack Tunney? Frank Tunney? Who was his
Uncle
uncle?
was Frank Tunney.
Frank Tunney.
Or no, wait. Yeah, Frank Tunney, because Gene Tunney was the boxer. Yeah, it was Frank Tunney.
We go back with
Yeah.
wrestling.
Any
Tunney's especially like this.
any other news or anything from
Sammy
AEW?
Guevara is the new
Yeah.
AEW.
And they
TNT
changed the look of the belt
Championship,
again?
Yep.
Is this the 4th or 3rd?
It's the 4th.
Well,
I
the-
think they're gonna change it like every time someone wins it. they're
You
gonna
can pick
change
your
it,
color
yeah.
strap.
You can pick your
Oh.
strap. You can kind of put a little
Yeah.
bit like
I like
diamonds
that.
on it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because now the whole backdrop of the belt is all diamond encrusted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't see that. I seen the black belt.
No, it's like white now. It's like
Oh,
white.
I
and-
seen him
it's
holding
like
a black
white
one.
and green, and that's the one he won.
You mean the Miro belt?
The Miro belt was white.
Yeah.
Mhm.
His strap is already black.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
I,
see
didn't
the
see, I didn't see
picture,
the
yeah.
black
And
one.
I didn't see it. I think it's just the belt before Miro one or one Miro one.
Okay.
I think
What
it's-
happens with that title when they go over to TBS?
I'm hoping they just call it the television.
They're not going on.
championship.
Rampage is staying on TNT.
Yeah, Rampage is staying on TNT, so maybe it becomes more of a Rampage thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a rumor, but it seems like it's just a rumor. They're going to do a secondary women's title called the TBS title, but that
Yeah,
might just be a
no,
rumor.
no.
I think that'd be a
What's
cool
up?
idea.
I'd rather call it something different.
Yeah, call it the TV title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
it should just be the TV title.
Yeah. I like the idea of a secondary women's
Yeah,
championship.
you have a deep enough division where like somebody like or even a
I think
women's
they're gonna
tag
do
title.
tag because that's
Yeah,
why
'cause-
Anna Jay and Tay Conti had matching gear. And so
Yeah.
did Butch or Bunny and
Yeah, I
and
saw
they
that
could
with
do
the
a
black
tag
and the
team.
red.
And
Yeah.
you can
direct
bring
trim.
you can bring the Iconics over.
Yes.
You could.
Yeah.
But I
I
mean,
would be
inspiration.
fine with
I
that.
don't know how
inspiration.
they get over in AEW. Obviously,
Oh, they
the,
would do
promo,
fine.
They would get over.
the promos would be great.
They have enough of a
That-
personality.
Then that bell has to ring. And in AEW, if
Peyton
you're not
Royce-
good,
Billy
Peyton
Kay
Royce
is-
isn't horrible.
Well,
Peyton Royce isn't horrible.
here's
yeah,
one thing.
Peyton's all right.
Here's one thing I did hear about them though. Like, and it's from them, so but from their podcast.
I've been training and I'm really good.
No, but they even said like Billy Kay was doing it longer, right? But
Well,
when
I didn't know
but
that.
she doesn't, she just like she's not someone who's gonna do top rope. She's very. She even says herself, I'm very basic and very simple.
yeah.
But in
Well, so
WWE,
was Steve Austin.
in WWE, they wouldn't let me do shit.
I
Like
know,
that was
I
my
know,
job to
I
go
know.
out there and just and do. I only had a small set of things I was allowed to do. I wasn't allowed to get offense. I wasn't allowed to go.
Well, that's true of some matches, but they didn't
Yeah.
go out there and say, "Hey, be a bad wrestler."
But that's how I look at people.
And they didn't do that in NXT.
Yeah,
And she wrestled the same way in NXT.
yeah.
Yeah, but maybe they wanted her. To
I know
tone
they do
things
say
down
like
then, too.
do a rear
Yeah.
chin lock and make they make the matches.
Peyton
more.
literally got them fired because she asked to go singles. She got her wish, and then when Vince was like, "Well, how do we push you? Like, where do you?"
I see. I don't think she asked for singles. I think they forced it on. them.
No, she said
she
on her
asked.
podcast that she asked. for the
really?
Singles. Yeah.
She asked for them to be broken up.
Yep.
That was a dumb.
And
Yeah, it
then
was.
Vince asked her, like, "Okay, well, like, what are you into? What do you do when you're not working?" And she was like, "Nothing. I'm boring. I just stay at home and watch TV." And
That's
he
the
was
wrong
like,
thing to say.
"What am I supposed to do with you then?" Like, and then she just ended up getting released. Like, nothing
Yeah,
ever
and
came
then
of it.
Billy Kay went out there and grabbed the brass ring, and they're like,
Yeah,
and they
got
got released her
fired
anyways.
anyways.
Yeah.
So I feel so bad for her.
Yeah, Billy Kay really did make a great character at the end there.
Mhm.
Billy and Jilly.
And I think the whole there is better than the sum of their parts.
Yes.
So
No, I agree.
like Billy Kay can do more of the outside the ring work and Peyton.
And
can
then
do
maybe
more-
put a nerd girl with him that could really wrestle.
Yeah.
Then they could get over in AEW because I think that the
I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay.
I don't know because like Bunny and what's her name out there and people are like they're not very good.
But they're not also
But
not.
they don't.
They,
sh-
they
but
don't have that
shit on
charisma.
Yeah,
her,
they-
though.
yeah,
That's,
they
like,
don't
the
shit,
thing.
yeah.
Like,
They-
AEW fans don't shit on people really.
and they don't have the charisma that
Yeah,
the
that's true,
Iconics
yeah.
have either, or the inspiration, whatever they're called
Mhm.
now.
You mentioned Sammy Guevara's wrestling Bobby Fish.
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
next week in Philadelphia.
No, how about
Well, it's
that?
going to be a one-off because Bobby Fish is with
Right.
MLW, and
He
Oh,
said something
okay.
about it not being a one-off, but I guess
he's
fine
with
them.
MLW now. So
Well,
it's
those MLW contracts.
Yeah,
are,
They're very
yeah,
flimsy.
they're
Yeah,
very yeah.
well,
MJF was under contract.
what
with
he's
MLW
what he's
too.
talking about though is like the what's it called, the
Forbidden Door.
yeah, Forbidden Door.
Mhm.
So
It'll be cool. I hope that like he keeps that going because like I like when Darby did that and stuff. Like, Miro has all been like he'll have an open challenge and it'll be like some jobber that like
Yeah, he just
accepts
keeps
it. You know what I
it,
mean? I want them to actually be stars that come out and that'd be dope. you
Yeah,
know?
that's a fun thing. Like AW, you don't know
Yeah.
who's going to show up. Warhorse showed up. Nick
Yeah.
Gage showed up. Hoovy showed up. That's a fun little element that you don't know
Especially
who's going to be there.
TNT title, they don't have to be real big stars.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anything else before we get into our topic?
I think that's everything.
What? There's not much news.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not this week. I mean, Friday will be the draft. That will be big when it happens. But
There's rumors about
Rampage.
Hit Row possibly coming up. There's
Yeah.
rumors about LA Knight possibly
I
coming
think
up.
all the people that were on NXT for a while and not new will go to Raw or SmackDown and probably be forgotten.
see, the way they reported as like they're trying to bring in a young talent.
Yeah.
So it's going to be people like Austin Theory, who's been working dark matches. They get called up. Dakota Kai will get called up.
I will miss Austin Theory in NXT because I love the
Yeah,
character.
he was
Probably
great. The
EO
way it was
will get
great.
called up.
She's tag champ, so I thought there was a chance he would lose that match.
I
Which
did
was the
too.
only
That's what I
good thing on NXT this week was the women's tag match. Zoe Stark looked really good in that match, and I thought that they might drop the titles because EO might go up
Mhm.
and maybe team with Oscar or something like that. Because
They still might do it though. Just
Yeah.
as a shock.
There's supposedly some people, some of
Where's
the
Asuka been?
some of the girls in the
Hurt.
locker room are petitioning, are like tweeting or social media, reaching out to Kairi Sane to come back.
Yeah, I seen Banks.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would really move the needle at all.
If she's happy,
I'd rather
good
her
for
wrestle in Japan.
yeah. Stardom could use her.
Yeah, they could.
Oh, we have forgot this news. Arn Anderson and his Glock.
Yeah, and the memes.
Taking
the
over the
memes are
internet.
fantastic. I can't wait to hear his podcast.
Eli says, "Can I be serious for a moment? Lance Storm was one of the low-key champions. Wish he had a longer run with it."
Yeah.
I think he was a better WCW US
I don't think
champion.
he ever won the Intercontinental
did.
title.
He
Did
did.
he?
Yep, he was
For what, a hot minute?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, but remember when they got all the belts and there was too many belts on Raw?
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
just switched them willy nilly.
I remember in WCW, Lance Storm had all the titles.
He had all
Yeah,
the-
oh,
he
It-
had
yeah.
it was
all
the height of
titles.
Vince Russo
Yeah.
because he took the hardcore title
And, the Canadian
and it was
title.
like it became like the Saskatchewan Heritage International title.
yeah,
Get it? The
get
shit title.
Yeah. And then the U.S. was the Canadian
title. Didn't
Yeah.
Jim Duggan have that and he went Canadian? for a minute?
No, he did go Canadian, but he
When he
didn't have the
turned
US
heel.
title.
Shaved his beard.
Yeah, he shaved his beard, cut his hair, and he was.
Oh, he didn't have the Canadian title?
No, he
I
was,
don't think he had any belts
Oh, okay.
He
at that point.
at that point. No, the last belt he had in WCW, he was when he was the janitor.
Mm.
And on WCW Saturday Night, he found again Vince Russo.
Mm.
He was the janitor. There's only one wrestling janitor I care about, and that's Tommy Vex.
Tommy Vex, baby.
And he found the TV title in a trash can because Scott Hall threw it out, and then he became the TV champion, and that was the final TV champion.
That storyline is just pure shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, this title don't
Vince
mean
Russo,
nothing.
we said that.
Russo.
Yeah, it don't mean nothing. Now you found it and still
This
means
is
nothing.
why we say you don't want to go too far outside the box in
Yeah.
wrestling. You
What-
don't
See,
want-
this is
you
an
can go outside the
unpopular
box, but just don't be dumb.
Bro, what if he throws the title away and he picks up? Well, then why does anyone want it if the guy just threw it away?
right.
My unpopular opinion about Jim Duggan, I've never got him.
I've never been. I get why
don't know
the
why
80s
anybody
Yeah.
in the 80s would cheer for him. 'cause
When I
he
was a
comes
People
kid,
out
loved him in
before.
Mid South, but that was a different Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I loved him. I thought it was funny.
I just
It was
don't.
fun for kids, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He threw a board up in the air
Yeah,
and he
and
caught it.
every
Yeah,
time.
Every
And he
time.
made a funny face.
I was never really into him.
I mean, as a kid, I thought he was awesome.
He did that.
but
He said tough guy.
yeah, and I
Involved
just
with Harley
I
Race
just,
at
I
the
just
Slam
never
Race.
got into him as a kid.
Yeah.
Never.
He did coke with the Iron Sheik.
yeah,
It was
Now that I'm into.
Coke with the Iron Sheik.
yeah.
That's right, Bubba.
all right. Well, let's jump into it. The IC title. Brian, take us away.
So you want to do the round table? Everybody can just give their
Sure, we'll start
favorite. All right. So with you said, like Andy and I both said that we think it's between two people. I
Yeah.
think we're going to have the same two people here. Shawn Michaels or Chris Jericho, right?
I was gonna say Shawn Michaels or Macho Man.
I was going to say
Okay.
Shawn or Jericho, so I was on the same board. with Brian.
It would be,
Jericho.
it's between Shawn and Jericho, and I would say just for me, I know it wasn't a long run, but the most memorable. I actually remember him more as the IC champion than probably any other champion. And that would be Shawn. Like,
Okay.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
like because that's when I really like independently looked for wrestling, and I
Yeah.
because I was a huge Rockers fan, and then he became solo, and then he won the IC title, and I was like, oh, this guy's getting relevant, and I just remember being like, I'm hitching my horse right, like even more so now because he's the champion and he's like everything, like and then the ladder, like I made my parents buy the pay-per-view and I watched the ladder match. Because when you had it for like 72 hours, I just
Yeah.
kept repeating it and repeating it and repeating. I watched it so many times. So I would say just for that match alone would make he's
Is that your favorite Intercontinental?
Yeah, that ladder
match?
match was awesome. The first ladder match.
That's probably my favorite Intercontinental title match, but
Really?
it's either that or wearing this shirt. Randy Savage is my favorite wrestler ever. My favorite. The Intercontinental title run's a little before my time,
Yeah.
Right.
and my favorite's got to be Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
That's a great
somebody
choice. He's
said in
my
the
number two. for
Somebody
sure.
said it in the chat, and I can't find it now, but I think somebody said in the chat, Mr. Perfect. That's probably my favorite Intercontinental champion.
When I think of rivalries, like with the IC title, I think Shawn and Sean and Davey and Sean, like just Sean and Razor for a while there, and then I think Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, and that if not the latter match, my favorite Intercontinental title match is probably, I don't know, Andy already brought it up. SummerSlam 91, where speaking of something that happened on Dynamite this week, right before Mr. Perfect cashed in his Lloyd's of London insurance policy.
I love that Punk kept saying that.
He had that match where Bret Hart, he made Bret Hart a single star because Bret Hart was like, he's a tag wrestler. What is he doing getting the title shot here? And he won. And Mr. Perfect made Bret Hart look great in that match.
It's insane. Like I always joke around saying I don't like him, but I do. I'm a fan of Bret Hart. I'm just more.
You should be. It was amazing.
I am more of a Sean guy, but their careers are so parallel. Like tag team wrestlers. The IC title really launched them into a different stratosphere. Like, and then from then they just dominated everywhere they went. Like, they were the guys. Like.
Yeah, speaking of Bret, he's my choice. He's my favorite Intercontinental champion of all time, favorite wrestler of all time. But yeah, I think him and Perfect or him and Davey.
Davey only had it for like 3 months.
I know, but just the match itself is so great. Yeah, that match was just so.
And that was all Bret. Like Davey was hung over. Crazy.
You just looked at me. Thanks.
Yeah.
And so was LOD, and that's why what was it? Hawk burned himself.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's why. Yep.
They also went over to England, partied.
It's still a good pay-per-view, and they're already trying to go back there.
Yeah. I wonder if this one will actually be live, though, because that was like a few days
I'm going to say no. Like Insurrection, remember
you would have to do it, if you're going to do it live, you'd have to do it in like the afternoon, because you could do like 3 o'clock in the afternoon is like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
there.
right. I can see that maybe. Kind of like the Saudi Arabia shows.
Yeah.
Except not for blood money.
Yeah.
Well, it might be for blood money.
For blood euros. Well, no, they're out of the European Union now. Blood pounds.
Oh,
my favorite is it was between two people. I was juggling it. You know, like when you think of somebody, you're like, who do you think of when you think of a title? And
that's a different answer for me too.
Right, but it's like when we think of the U.S. title, I think of Rick Rude.
Yeah.
When I think of the IC title, I think of Razor Ramon. For some reason,
so do I,
and that's who it was between him and Dean Douglas.
Oh,
yeah, of course.
Just because nobody would ever pick Dean Douglas, and I love Shane Douglas, and that's not that's just shoot. I was a big Shane Douglas.
Santino Morello, that's your favorite when he beat Umaga.
Shane Douglas, our buddy Johnny Moran, that was like his favorite wrestler growing up.
Yeah.
Well, Shane Douglas is a little bit different.
Dean Douglas. Come on,
and Shane Douglas and ECW was like Triple H.
He was
Triple H.
Yeah, it was good.
Like, that was Moran's first name he ever worked too.
Really? Wow. How about that?
And they just said you're working with Shane, and he goes, I have to go find out who this fucking Shane guy is. And he walked in the locker room, opened the door, and sit in the chair.
It was a great story. If you go back to a few months ago when we had Johnny on the second time, I think you had a booking that night. It was like when we're still on Friday, you had a booking on a Friday.
That's when we said the WYLN champion will be in attendance.
Yeah, and he wasn't.
And then you no-showed us.
Yeah.
And
then the Fort Worth champion showed up.
Yeah. That was that double shot one.
Yeah.
CCW.
So, Andy, your favorite Intercontinental champion?
I'm going Razor too.
Razor.
Yeah.
See, when I think of the title, I think of Perfect, but Bret's my favorite.
When I think of the Intercontinental title, I think of the greatest Intercontinental champion of all time,
the Honky Tonk,
the Honky Tonk Man, Honky Tonkman.
Well, how about Santino's Honko meter? Right? They should have let him get almost there. Yeah. He should have been one day shy and then lost. That sucked.
As Santino would say, the Honky Donkey Man.
Honestly, another name I'll throw in there too. Like, I guess just because I
China.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
That was historic. I mean, I think that was cool.
Miz, I think
Miz.
Well, longevity just had it so many times.
And I mean, for a while there, that was the IC title was he made it relevant
with that title, dude. It was like the best part of the show.
Yeah.
Him and Dolph Ziggler had an incredible feud for that title.
Yeah.
Great.
Curtis Axel, another.
No. I feel like didn't AJ? I mean, it wasn't a long run, but I remember AJ having some decent matches with it, right? The IC title.
Yeah, but they don't mean anything anymore like they used to.
Yeah.
I think when somebody had a belt before, it worked for them. It's
Miz is the last one that I think honestly made the title feel important.
Remember
when he was on SmackDown?
Yeah,
SmackDown exclusive.
So I would say in recent times for me, Miz 100% is number one, no question. And then I would think it'd be like a two-way tie between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
I like
Sammy was great. Yeah, Sammy's
I don't hate Shinsuke as champion right now either. If they let him actually wrestle,
he's wrestled Apollo for 9 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, dude.
You have Shinsuke with a title. Let's do some fun stuff.
I like when Cody brought the old title back.
That was great.
Yeah,
that was great.
He brought that back. I was like, oh, I like Cody. A lot of people give him crap, but I
like Cody.
Remember when Roman had it for a little bit?
We're going back a little ways.
Off a little.
But I thought one of the things that really the IC title was way down and it got retired for a little bit. We're kind of jumping all over the place time wise, but around like 2002, they consolidated everything on Raw into the big gold belt when Triple H had it. They folded the European title into that, and the hardcore title, and the IC title, and it was gone for like 8 months. And then they brought it back, and was never really had that luster.
I missed the European Championship.
Until
I was gonna say you're only one. You're the only two.
Wait, until
Randy Orton had that really long run with it. And that was a really good run with the Intercontinental title in 04.
He was great.
He had the match with Cactus Jack. He had
that made him a star. That match, dude. Cactus really put him over.
Cactus Jack made so many people stars.
Then he had that great feud with Edge, Orton and Edge. That was awesome.
There's actually a ringside collectible exclusive Cactus Jack action figure.
I've seen it. It looks really,
but
really
he comes
cool.
with the ECW tag belt that he never had.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, he was ECW tag champion. Maybe not that title.
He never had that title.
Right, the old one.
The new one, yeah.
Him and Mikey were champions.
Yeah, give him the old design. He never had that Dudley Boys design.
Let's see what we have here. Where we at?
Jarrett.
Yeah.
Once the Miz is done dancing like a fool, will he be officially break the records? Oh, yeah.
Probably.
He might be there. He might be there already.
Just because they're petty, they're gonna have him. He's one away from tying Jericho.
Kofi's probably up there too for Intercontinental title reigns.
I like Tornado as champ. It probably would have happened again.
Hey, he's rocking the Tornado.
Yeah.
And Brian, you have a picture with Jeff Jarrett.
The reason why
I do, yeah.
Oh, Jeff Jarrett's I think is super underrated IC champ. I love Jarrett.
It's so funny because he was a decent champion, especially even on that second run. And even the first one with the country music guy, but that one there, I think that was when the IC title lost a little prestige for me when he beat Razor Ramon. It came back when Shawn Michaels brought it back, and they had like Dean Douglas winning it, and eventually
it went through some rough spots for sure. Yeah,
because if you go back to the 80s when it starts, it started in the 70s. You had the North American title, which didn't last long. DiBiase had it, Pat Patterson had it, and then they kind of folded that into the Intercontinental title. We talked about it on the Pat Patterson Jim Barnett episode where you had the tournament in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
The tournament that didn't happen but happened.
Yeah. And then Patterson's your first champion. Kempatera wins it. I did not know this until I was looking stuff up for the show. Does anybody here know? Not the most reigns, because Chris Jericho, like we said, is the 9-time champion, and then you have the Miz at 8 reigns. Dolph Ziggler, Jarrett, and RVD all have 6.
6, yeah.
But who has spent the most time as Intercontinental champion?
Combined
over more than one reign, yeah. The Miz is second.
I was gonna say Miz has to be up there.
The Miz is second, and he's less than a month away, so he's probably going to be first at some point.
Honky Tonk?
Kofi?
No.
RVD?
No. You have to go in the time machine for this one.
Oh, geez.
No idea.
Pedro Morales.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Pedro,
But
because
I had it for like a year.
He had 2 runs, and they were both like almost a year. Because
R.I.P.
I like real long runs. I admit that's one thing that I.
My dad always told me he wrestled Pedro Morales. The fucking way he wrestled Pedro Morales.
I met Pedro Morales when I was like 5.
My dad was a security guard at the old arena, like 45th and Market. So he was like a legit security guard there. But he would say that he, worked matches. He's like, oh yeah,
okay.
Sure you did.
Excuse me, sorry.
That's all right.
I got caught taking a swallow there. Third longest run, Don Morocco was another guy back then.
The first,
in fact,
The Rock.
Yeah, well, around the same time as Ole Anderson.
I was going to say Ole Anderson was The Rock.
Yeah, that's true.
Rakowski.
And Don Morocco and Pedro would trade it back and forth. One of the reasons they did this, Bob Backlund, people look back on him fondly, good wrestler and everything. He wasn't quite the draw Bruno was as champion. He wasn't even quite the draw Pedro Morales was as champion.
You don't ever want to be the guy who
Billy
follows
Graham.
the guy. And,
Which is crazy because when Bob Backlund's on TV now, I can't stop watching. He's entertaining.
When he beat Brett for the title when they threw in the towel, I seriously cried as a kid. I was that upset about
That's
it.
when he unlocked his charisma, when he went nuts.
Yeah, back then he was just like this bland baby face.
Yeah.
And they would have to load up the cards under him to really bolster ticket sales. And you would have Bruno come out of retirement, or you would do Andre the Giant or something. So they made this secondary title, the Intercontinental title, while Backlund was champion. So he had something else to lift up the card. There were a lot of times when Randy Savage, because he comes after, you had the Morocco era and the Pedro Morales era, then you get into Greg Valentine and Tito Santana.
Right.
And Tito loses it to the Macho Man. And that is when you start to see the Intercontinental title in the main event. Because Bruno, one of Bruno's last runs was Intercontinental title matches or non-title matches against Randy Savage while he was the Intercontinental champion. And he really takes it and elevates it. So he is one of the great champions too, Savage.
And that's when they were doing 2 shows a night.
Yeah. So
one belt with one main event, one show, one the other.
And that was also when you had the reputation of, okay, the Intercontinental title is the worker title.
Yeah, right. You had to prove yourself first. Like if you won the Intercontinental title and had a good run, then you were like worthy to be the world champion.
You either had to be a great wrestler or the honky tonk man.
Yeah.
Or the ultimate warrior.
And show up in the right place.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and for Warrior, it was the right place. Well, no, because the briefcase thing was an injury angle. But for Kerry Von Erich later, because the Warrior wins it from Honky, and then he has Rick Rude gets his run there.
I think Rick Rude is good. I mean, he wasn't a great Intercontinental champion, but I every time I think about him with that belt, I'm always like, he looks so good with that belt.
It's another one if you envision Intercontinental champions to me. Rick Rude is up
I
there.
wish he would have stayed.
When he takes the belt off and the belt's still in his trunks.
Yeah.
Awesome. The great.
I wish he would have won the world title then.
Yeah.
Me too.
But then you had Kerry Von Erich, Texas Tornado. He won it because Beefcake got hurt in that parasailing accident. Beefcake was going to win the title at SummerSlam 90.
What a reign that would have been.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Beefcake is the weirdest interaction I ever had with a wrestler ever. My aunt.
You didn't meet Marty Jannetty.
No. I wish.
It was interesting.
She is like a maid and cleans houses, so she like got paid to clean his house. So she's like, "Oh, my nephew's a big wrestling fan. Will you call him and talk to him?" So he's like, "Sure." He gets on the phone loaded, right? And all he's telling me about, he's not bragging about anything about wrestling. Not one thing about wrestling. The only thing he's telling me about is that he won a baseball championship in 8th grade. And that was the biggest accomplishment of his life. And he was the best batter you've ever seen. I'm like, dude, you went on to like become like a professional wrestler and you keep telling me about 8th grade.
Yeah.
Like, it was the weirdest shit. He's like, "Oh, you should have seen me with a bat. I could have been in the majors. I could have been in the..." I'm like, bro, what are you talking about?
Like, get your fucking scissors and calm down.
Shit. I was like, oh, cool.
It's funny because another guy like that, we already talked about him, is Savage. Like he would love to talk about his days as a baseball player.
Well, at least Savage was actually good enough to play for the Reds.
He was in like double A. Yeah, he played a
yeah.
lot of double A ball. He never really made it to the show, but yeah, he would look back fondly on his baseball days. You know who was never the Intercontinental champion was Abe Knuckleball Schwartz. Was never the Intercontinental champion.
We did have the
MVP
action
was.
figure.
Yeah, I did have that before.
Yeah.
MVP was, but not that MVP.
Not MVP.
Wrong MVP. Yeah, that MVP didn't have a nickname, did he? Like they didn't stand for anything when it was Abe Knuckleball Schwartz.
No, I don't think it did.
It was just MVP.
No, yeah, it was just MVP. Yeah.
It's funny. I don't remember MVP as IC champion. I know he was.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember him as United States champion. Like he has a US title.
Yeah, he had that feud with Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
So Mr. Perfect wins it after Ultimate Warrior because Ultimate Warrior had to vacate the Intercontinental title. The first time it was vacated because he won the world title against Hogan. So he did the tournament, and it comes down to Mr. Perfect and Tito Santana, and that's where Bobby Heenan joins forces with Mr. Perfect and helps him win the Intercontinental title.
Boy, were they awesome together.
Oh, they were.
Oh, yeah.
But he wouldn't even look and just throw the towel.
And then Heenan caught it behind the back. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
at one of the Royal Rumbles. Amazing. And so then after Mr. Perfect wins it back from the tornado, he loses it to Bret Hart. And that's when the Mountie won it. They said Bret Hart was sick.
Did the Mountie win at a house show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said Bret Hart was sick, but he wasn't. He gave his notice. And then within the next few days, he was like, "No, I'm coming back." But he gave his notice.
Should have quit.
He lost.
Quit.
He
Show
lost
at the
his smile.
WCW.
They thought he was jumping to WCW, so he lost it to the Mountie at a house show. And then Mountie,
Shawn Michaels never lost to the Mountie.
and then because Shawn Michaels would have cried and said he
Yeah.
stubbed his toe and
He
then
would've
would
quit.
have stripped him.
He would've
completely.
quit.
That needs a click.
That happens a little bit later.
Yeah.
It happens a little bit later. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So the Mountie wins it, drops it to Piper. Piper loses it back to Brett.
WrestleMania.
Great
7?
feud. Great feud.
8.
That was a great feud.
That's a good match too.
7, the Intercontinental title match was Mr. Perfect against the Big Boss Man.
Mm.
It was the cap off of the Big Boss Man, or Heenan making fun of the Big Boss Man's mother.
No, okay.
And then they somehow fired Rick Rude over it. It's like, we're mad at you, Bobby Heenan. So Rick Rude was suspended because he quit.
Yeah.
So that happened. And then that, like, I think Boss Man won by like DQ.
You know what the best Bossman angle ever is?
What
Big
I just
Show.
said.
Huh?
Big Show.
What Big Show when he drives away his dad's
I
casket.
killed your daddy.
Your dad is
Dude,
dead.
You know, your
that
dad
shit
is
was wild.
That or when
I thought
or when he got hung from the cell.
Yeah, that was pretty
We were
wild, too.
there.
That was
We were
pretty
there for
wild.
that. I think I'm going to say when he killed Al Snow's dog and fed it to him.
Yeah.
And that was wild.
Oh, I
too.
forgot about that.
Big
was
Boss
crazy.
Man was just a cartoon villain. He should have had a big curly mustache. He would have
Dude,
twirled at
my
that point.
buddy Keith, who I like a lot, he's a great kid, but he was the only person I ever knew who, not jokingly, his favorite wrestler of all time is the Big Boss Man.
Wow.
He loves the Big Boss Man. And I'm like,
Okay.
The more I'm hearing about
Why?
these feuds, the more I'm remembering these feuds.
The Guardian Angel.
I don't hate it.
Go ahead.
I don't-
what was the thing? He wasn't even supposed to be in the ring.
It was when he was a guardian angel and he turns heel on Sting. And Okerlund's up at this is in WCW, like one of the Clash of the Champions. And the Guardian Angels in New York didn't want him using the Guardian Angel thing anymore.
Yeah.
And when he came into WCW, he was the boss.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, that's too
It's the
close.
boss, man.
Yeah.
The boss, man,
it
is he
was
big?
Too close
Yeah, that's
to
right. Man, is
copyright. And a lot of times during commentary, they say, big boss man going for the move.
Because
It's
it's
like,
Heenan.
boy, yeah.
And he just was like, the boss, man. And they're like, no, it's just the boss.
There's a great story that Austin told on this podcast. I forget what too. I've listened to so many damn episodes of this podcast where he talked about how he had to wrestle like Big Boss Man, like coming through like where was he before? Like when he's in Texas still and in the Texas territories, and they told him like, yo, Boss Man, he's gonna be really rough with you in there. If you want to like gain his respect, be rough back with him. And he said he let it go at first, and he like got him with 4 clean shots, and then Stone Cold hit him in the neck as hard as he could. And the guy was like, "All right, brother, let's ease up a bit." And Stone Cold's like, "All right." Took a big shot to the neck to kind of ring his bone. Like, "All right, I'm done."
Yep.
So yeah, they eventually just wanted him to go back to Big Bubba Rogers, which was what he was in the first time in Crockett. He was Cornette's bodyguard.
That was a fun side tangent. I like the little side quest we took
It's
there.
great, yeah.
Little boss man side quest.
He was supposed to be in the ring. But yeah, never the Intercontinental Champion.
Now
Got close.
Keith was right. Big Boss Man's dope.
Got close.
He's great.
He's-
Yeah, he sold me on
The
him.
new topic is Big Boss Man.
Yeah.
For the Intercontinental title.
He has a new elite figure coming out. That's
Does
the
he?
next wave. Yeah, big boss man. That
was
was the
good,
classic
man.
blue and yellow.
Really?
And he was a legit guard.
guard,
too.
yeah.
He was
Yeah.
legit.
And then later, One Man Gang was his old partner, Akeem. He
Mhm.
became a death row guard in Mississippi,
Louisiana?
I think, or
Oh, that's
Louisiana.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that. It's pretty dope.
So Shawn Michaels winds up winning it from the Bulldog, who wins it from Hart, and that's when you have Jannetty winning it for like a few weeks. And
Yeah.
so Shawn did wind up negotiating with WCW in late 1993, and he got stripped of the title. They said he had like a hand injury or something. So that's when Razor Ramon wins it. It was the weirdest thing they did.
Well, he also failed a test then, didn't he?
I don't think they were drug testing at that point. They said he had a hand injury, but he was really threatening to quit.
Well,
He did the Shawn Michaels thing. I don't want to drop my title, so I quit.
Yeah.
I thought they said he failed a test or something.
He may have.
Maybe
It's
on
Shawn Michaels. I'm sure he was on something.
Yeah.
I think that was in the A&E biography.
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't
okay.
watch that.
Yeah, they did say.
Oh, he
something
may
like
have.
that.
Because
Drug
he's
test,
like, yeah, they took his title away from him, but all of us are doing drugs, and they
Yeah.
pick Sean.
Yeah.
Well, no, he was also, they wanted him to lose, and he was giving them like guff
Yeah.
for lose. Like Shawn Michaels never wanted to lose a title in the ring, so he was
Yeah.
doing the Shawn Michaels thing.
He's allowed to.
He was. Yeah,
The
Vince let
goat.
him do whatever he wanted.
He's a go, baby.
And look, I would never want to be on the plane with the guy with this one go.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did the weirdest thing with Razor's first title. With Razor's first title, it was a battle royal for the vacant title. But then we're gonna do a battle royal, and the final 2 people in the match, they're gonna wrestle next week, and the winner's the champion. So Razor beat Rick Martel for the model Rick Martel for the vacant Intercontinental title. And then Shawn comes back shortly after. And that's when they had the 2 belts. Like
Mhm.
Razor's
Mhm.
was a little more gold, a little more lustery, and the other one was more like tin looking. And they put them both up at the ladder match. Diesel winds up winning a title at this point. Then Razor wins it back. Razor wound up being like a 4-time
Yeah,
champion.
I think it's
Yeah.
four.
The force.
Yeah, because the Dean Douglas thing, and then Jarrett winds up with it. Michaels wins it back, but then Jarrett quits the company that night. Who did Mike? Oh no, Michaels lost the Smile, and then he got beat up by the.
I thought you said he lost
Yeah.
2 Smile.
Yeah.
They wanted
Norman
to lose to
Smiley?
Norman Smiley, and then he's like, "Nah, it doesn't work."
He
for
got
me,
beat up
brother."
by 485 Marines.
3 cheerleaders. I think they said in
Yeah.
WCW. He got beat up by 3 cheerleaders in Syracuse.
When everybody was saying who their favorite IC champ, I'm surprised nobody said vacant.
Vacant, yes, the greatest champion there ever
Probably
was.
about 25-time
yeah,
Intercontinental
yeah.
champion.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, after Razor loses it for the last time, the Gold Dust. So now we're into the mid '90s
Ah,
when Gold Dust.
gold
one of
belt.
the best themes.
Mhm.
One of the best characters of all time.
Oh yeah,
Very good
absolutely.
That's one thing I wish. Like, I'm glad that like Razor went to WCW because like it helped with NWO and had the big boom. But man, I would have loved to have that full-fledged Razor Goldust feud. That would have been
Yeah.
cool.
Especially wins the world title, Razor.
And-
Well, they probably both could have.
We never got the proper Hollywood backlot brawl.
Yeah.
Like Piper got shoehorned in, and then they did chase with the white Ford Bronco.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that backyard brawl. That backyard brawl is
but
awesome.
It's supposed to be a Razor.
No,
But
Goldust.
they never saw those guys as world champs because
Yeah.
that type of character can't be a world
Yeah.
champion.
Which I hate, by the
I mean,
way.
Razor
That-
probably
that
could have.
Thought that old psychology or mindset that I
Like we talked about on the way to where the fuck are we going? Hamburg. We're like Jungle Boy will probably never be world champion because he's Jungle Boy. Like
he could be Jack Perry
Yeah,
eventually.
I
win
think
the
he
title.
will, and
Yeah.
they're just calling Jack Perry, Jungle Boy.
Yeah,
Jack
I don't think
Perry,
he'll be
you know?
Jungle Boy forever.
Yeah,
'cause
at some point he's going to become a jungle man.
Yeah,
Like at some point,
Cabin Man. I was
Yeah.
a Cabin Boy.
at
now
some
the
point
Cabin Man.
he should have become the Heartbreak Man. That's another thing I
Yeah.
hold against Shawn Michaels.
I read a meme today, man. It had like all the great matches that Jungle Boy's had this year alone in one-on-one matches. He's had some great matches this year, dude.
they
A lot of
talk.
great
So here's the biggest thing that AEW gets shit for. Another side tangent here. Sorry, everybody. That everyone's like, oh, they only care about the elite, or they only care about the WWE guys. If you really look at a lot of the names in the company, like there's a lot of names that have become stars in the past 2 years. There, Jungle Boy,
Yep.
Darby Allin, fucking Sammy Guevara, like
Orange Cassidy.
Like there's like you look at some of the top matches that are like sleepers that there was not a belt in the line.
Mhm.
Jungle Boy's in them, Darby's in them. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they also realize in AEW that you can be pushed and have a story behind you without being a champion or being the world champion or being in the main event.
yeah, the stories are good. They're
So-
fun.
So Goldust winds up listening to a guy where I think if this guy wasn't wasn't nuts or reckless or either getting hurt or hurting somebody in every match,
He could have been something.
they would have strapped the rocket to this
Yeah,
guy.
he could have been. He could have been the first African American WWE champion.
Yeah. Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
boy.
the greatest wrestler in the world.
No.
I liked his action figure.
Yeah, his action
I
figure
had
was
that
quiet. I had the
configured
first
too.
one.
I thought he
I liked his
the pads on his
Yeah, on his
thighs.
thighs.
They were
like,
awesome,
two
dude.
knee- It looked cool.
Look, as a kid, I liked
he was
Ahmed
like,
Johnson.
whoa, he was kind of Goldberg.
you didn't really know
Yeah.
that he sucked so bad.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
You know,
It's like
and then you
things
watch
that
now, you're
can't tell.
Ooh.
Right.
When I moved
Yeah.
to New York, there was a Pearl River, and I was like, "This is so Ahmed
Yeah,
Johnson."
bro, you can take a plunge in that, bro. Go to plunge.
Do you remember the fun with Ahmed thing? I think it's still on YouTube. It was the clips from the video. game.
Hilarious.
It's like, be fucking ready, but it's like, be ready. They just give them the fake subtitles under there. It's like, Bozo Superstar. Like all these superstars.
Because he's so mush mouth when he cut a
Yeah,
promo.
he
He had
was.
intensity,
Yeah.
but he couldn't. The promos were not.
So
good.
that's why everyone called him like the Sand Ripper.
Yeah.
Because there's a thing where he says like the sand, like something that sounds like the Sand Ripper. But he was nuts, but he kept getting hurt
If
for hurting
only
people.
he could do a good promo, then he would have been like Warrior, and he probably would have been.
He
world
should just
champion.
had a fucking.
He was
manager.
definitely
Yeah.
intimidated looking.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
yeah.
Oh
was.
yeah, for sure. His feud with Farouk was awesome, dude. That feud was great.
Then he went WCW when he was fat and feuded with
Big
Booker T over the name.
Over the
T.
name,
Over the
the
rights to
letter.
the letter T. Yeah.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Because they
The
had
new Harlem Heat.
they had a guy, Jay Biggs, who was Clarence Mason in WWF, and he was a lawyer. His whole gimmick in both companies was he was a lawyer.
Yeah, like a manager. He didn't
And-
wrestle.
Ahmed Johnson came in as Big T, and this guy said that he has the rights to the letter T, and Booker T can't use it, and he has to
Mr.
just
T
be
was
Booker.
not nowhere to be.
Yeah,
seen in
Remember
this.
when Booker changed his name for a little bit? He was like what?
G.I. Bro,
G.I. Bro,
Bro,
yeah.
that
Bro,
was
yeah.
Terrible.
Because that was,
He was the leader of.
Misfits in Action.
Yeah.
that was something he
Awful.
used way back when in like Global
Yeah.
or pre-Global.
He was a G.I. Joe.
Yeah, and he was G.I. Bro, and they're like, hey, we should use that. And then Vince Russo saw that name, he was like, G.I. Bro.
Yeah.
We're gonna
like
get that
it.
gimmick back.
I like it a lot.
Like they would just bring stuff out of like they brought back the Varsity Club
Yeah,
out of
remember
nowhere. It's crazy. Yeah, Kimono Wanalea was their manager, Leia Meow. They like she hadn't done anything in wrestling for like 5 years, and they brought her back. Russo WCW, like that's an episode in and of itself, just of the
It is.
crazy stuff they did. Like last week, we were talking about the Misfits being there.
Yeah.
just insane.
That's if you guys have any ideas of a topic you want us, we'll take a quick little segment here. If there's a topic
Besides the big boss, man.
that you want us to do, put it in the chat now. Like if we have people active and you guys are chatting and you're listening, you're enjoying what you hear, we'll do some listener stuff. Like give us a couple ideas for some topics in the future.
Yeah, like Eli said, he'd love to see Ricochet as Intercontinental champion. I think everyone would. Never gonna
that'd be a
happen.
Great
Yeah.
champ.
Never
Be a
gonna
great
happen.
champ.
He can't even win the 24/7.
Can't even get on TV barely.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
He's out of there though.
Is
as soon as his
Reggie? Is
contract's up.
Reggie still?
Yeah.
24?
Yeah.
Good, he's the
Yeah.
best.
What do you think? Like Ricochet, Reggie, bunch of flips.
They did a
Nope.
match. They did a match.
They just had a match. Yeah.
Yeah, but it
They-
was like
It was like 3 seconds.
a minute.
And
I think it was almost a minute.
because it's the joke division.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not gonna do anything serious with it.
But they could have just did some cool flips.
And then Ahmed Johnson gets hurt during the feud with Farouk, and then the title's vacant again. Vacant is your new champion once more. And they do a tournament, and Farouk loses in the finals to the Wild Man,
Yeah, Mark Marrow.
Mark Marrow.
And you know he's the wild man, Mark Marrow, because Vince always says his name that way. Over and over and over.
He bring that real hot manager and with him.
Yeah.
Sable in her prime.
Another person who
Did she come right away or was she a little bit later?
She
I
was
thought
a
she-
little bit later.
Yeah.
He was not the
I think
first
he had
time.
random girls, right?
No.
Are you sure?
Or was he by himself?
He was by himself. The random girls were that was how Sable was introduced. When
okay.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley
that's
would always
right,
have a
that's right.
random girl bring him out. And at WrestleMania 12, it was Sable. And that's when he lost in like 15 seconds to the Ultimate Warrior.
Mhm.
And he blamed Sable. And Mark Merrow came to her rescue and she became his manager.
Yeah.
That was how it
That's
worked.
wrestling.
So actually, honestly, Sable didn't do it for me as a kid.
No, I was a big Sunny guy. I was
Yeah.
Sunny, but I mean, now in hindsight, when I watch like those clips, I'm like,
I think early Sable's hot,
Crazy.
and I don't like what she turns into.
oh, even her in like 04, I was still like, holy shit.
Sable and Marlena.
Yeah.
I'm not Sable. Sunny and Marlena for me.
Oh,
Yeah, I was always the
I
Sunny
never
guy.
got that.
I loved Marlena.
When we were watching the pay-per-view, you guys kept talking about Marlena, and I'm like, why?
Yeah,
Why would you do that?
I like Marlena.
I was huge into Sunny.
Yeah, I mean,
I think everyone
Who was it?
Yeah,
the, whole
if you-
the whole locker room literally was into.
Yeah.
Hey.
They wanted to be. They weren't.
I ain't mad at him.
Okay.
Model employee right there.
So then we do have Hunter Hearst Helmsley does wind up beating Merrow for the title.
By the way, she's still great in the mic. Seen her do a little promo in New York.
Sunny or Sable?
Sunny.
Really?
Yeah.
Sable.
Sable was never good.
No,
for
no,
him.
I'm not saying.
I
Sunny.
don't know
What,
who you see.
what did I say?
Yeah.
Sable.
No, you
No,
said
no,
Sunny.
no. You said
Oh.
she was good on the mic. Pronouns, pal.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he said who? Sable.
Yeah.
And that's why we're like, come
Oh.
on, Andy.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I
of
don't
course,
know.
of course, it's not
Sorry.
Sable.
Yeah, Sable's
Or
now
Marlena
making
for that matter.
appearances
Yeah.
After
My
20 years.
brain's on a 3-second delay here. I got the.
Whoa. I like York.
Alexander York.
Yeah.
She
York
didn't do
Foundation.
promos really.
Oh.
It was the whole thing was like my
Oh.
laptop is going to tell me exactly how we're going to win,
Yeah.
and it was just I'm going to hit the guy with the laptop. That's how we're going to win.
Love it.
So then at this point you do have some people that wound up becoming big stars, winning the title. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Rocky Maivia,
Mm-hmm.
Owen Hart was he was a pretty good Intercontinental champion there.
Yeah.
He loses it to Austin in the match where Austin breaks his neck. The Rock gets it back. Triple H wins it at SummerSlam, but gets hurt immediately, and it's vacant again. Ken Shamrock
Yeah.
wound up getting the IC title.
This one they changed. I don't like how they.
Yeah,
The oval.
Yeah.
the Oval. They right after WrestleMania 14, they changed all the titles, not the tag titles, but they changed.
Yeah.
That's when you went from the Eagle WWF title to the big round one.
Yeah, which I don't like that one.
They rounded
mistake.
everything off.
Yeah, and then the Intercontinental title becomes the Oval. I hated that. I don't mind the
hated
new one.
title.
Like the classic.
I don't love the new one either. Like,
So
It's
I'm
good.
into it.
I like it more than the oval, but I mean,
Yeah.
I would take the old class. Like even like Jack was saying when Cody brought back like the white strap.
Yeah.
like, that to me that should have.
That classic
Wasn't there like
Intercontinental title is my favorite.
Wasn't there a blue
belt design
strap
ever.
one? Like a Robin egg.
There was a yellow one.
probably,
there was
yeah.
a
Warrior
red
had a
one.
million of them.
Yeah.
Warrior would always have different strap.
Goldust had the gold one.
Yeah.
Gold
And then
and
when
gold
Ahmed
one.
kept it when he won it.
Do you remember how that feud started? Ahmed Johnson was in like a King of the Ring qualifying match and he got knocked out. Like they stretched him out.
And Goldust was
Goldust
giving
kept
mouth
them.
to
Yeah,
mouth.
and Goldust was still doing the I'm gay thing. And,
Yeah.
and this is 1994.
So if you're
5?
gay, you're a heel.
Yeah, 1996. So if you're gay, you're automatically a heel. You couldn't be a gay person to be good.
Yeah. The funny part is Adman Johnson and like in a.
I do remember that.
and
He's trying to give him out.
Yeah, because he had the gold
Yeah.
paint around
All
his
over
mouth
his face,
afterward.
yeah.
Has anybody ever had the name like in a chat room, Admin Johnson?
No, but that's admin.
That's a good idea though.
I like the Sanctuary Spotlight champion, Prince Admin.
Okay, yeah.
But in a shoot interview, he talked about how he felt that Vince made him do that with Goldust because he was black, and it was like some kind of punishment to make him do a gay angle with Gold. And it's like, man, this
Everybody
Goldust
did a
is
gay
gay,
angle with
everybody.
Goldust.
Yeah. It's-
I know Razor didn't want to do it, and that's why they didn't have him back
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
But that was a different time. Now it'd be
Mhm.
like, oh, sure.
And then
it
after-
wouldn't be character now.
And then after Ken Shamrock, this is when you had like the Russo era of the title, where it's like
Ugh.
Val Venus and the Road Dogg.
Everyone, every like
I
2
actually
weeks it
don't-
changed.
I don't mind Val Venus as a champion because
I thought he was all right.
No, I mean, this is the man.
And then Edge would win it.
Yeah, he won it for like one night.
Yeah.
D'Lo Brown had it for a second. Owen Hart was supposed to win it the night he died.
Mhm.
He was
Yeah, 'cause
supposed to be the
Godfather had it,
Godfather
yeah.
as the Blue Blazer.
Mm.
And D'Lo Brown won it and then lost it like the next night because Mark Henry turned on him. Later, Kurt Angle wins it because when D'Lo Brown won it, he was the European champion too. And then Kurt Angle had both belts. And
I'm at
The Eurocontinental champion.
Yeah, and he said, I remember this promo. He's like, I am the first European and Intercontinental champion except for D'Lo Brown, and he doesn't count. He doesn't
right.
count.
Hamburg
And
had,
he doesn't count.
Hamburg had like four or five Intercontinental champions in it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like no, at the con we were at,
Yeah, I'm trying to think. You had
Marty,
you had
Godfather,
Godfather, you had
um,
You just said him, D'Lo.
D'Lo, yeah.
You had
That's probably it.
that-
Zack Ryder?
Zack Ryder was not
Oh,
there.
he was not there.
Heath Slater,
what's
was
his
he
name?
ever the
Yeah,
champion?
Heath Slater. No, I don't think.
He-
I don't think.
Dude, speaking of
But I could be
Godfather,
wrong.
real quick though, on a tangent. Today I
He was
found out
not.
that Thunder Rosa used to be one of his hoes, like
Really?
a couple years ago. Yeah,
Really?
he did independent shows. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
she posted on Instagram. She's like, from being a hoe to being a
Wow.
AEW
How about that?
That's
contender.
crazy.
And she put it side by side. I
The
was like,
first
wow.
time,
Was Rhino ever champion?
Intercontinental.
I don't
so.
think he was.
Sorry, Jack.
the first
He
time I
was
ever saw
United States.
Thunder Rosa
Yeah,
was on
but-
that Grimm's toy show.
Mhm.
That dude Grimm. That's the first time I ever saw her. I had no idea who she was. I was like, oh wow, this girl's cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you start seeing her pop up everywhere.
First time I really seen her was NWA.
Yeah, she's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, I believe those will be the only 3 former Intercontinental champions at the Legends of Hamburg. I don't think Lance Storm wasn't there, obviously.
Dominic DeNucci never won it.
No, that was a little before or
Yeah.
after his time, which is crazy.
That's how you know people have like revisionist history though, like a vision, like when they think about the Attitude Era and how great it was. Like you forget like people like D'Lo Brown were champion. Like
Hey, D'Lo Brown was the
D'Lo
greatest
Brown was-
European champion of all
Listen,
time.
He was
I like D'Lo Brown.
The
he
Truth
he was
Commission
okay,
existed.
but his whole thing would he come out, shake his head, so like what?
You know
what
why
was
he
his
did that?
gimmick?
I liked him.
I don't know what
I
his
love
gimmick
D'Lo
is.
Brown.
I like
His-
D'Lo Brown. yeah.
D'Lo Brown's the whole thing for that was because he stole it from Chris Tucker on Friday.
Wow.
You got knocked the fuck out.
Okay.
They stole a lot of shit from Friday. There was a lot of
I
stuff
didn't
stolen.
know
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Friday stole Zeus, okay?
I
Yeah,
must have
yeah.
been too young to even get the reference of. Just thought he was. I thought.
Yeah, I
had no idea
never
what
knew
that
Yeah.
was.
I was a D'Lo fan. I really really liked the
Look,
Nation Domination.
if-
No, I like
I did too.
Domination.
With Jay, I liked PG-13.
Yeah.
yeah,
If
like
any
another?
movie ever has an honest to God gripe of wrestling stole too much from us, it's Mad Max.
Yes.
The Road Warriors, Demolition,
Yeah.
Lord Humongous, it's all
Mhm.
Mad Max.
listen, you might have to see somebody using that gimmick very soon. You better be careful what you're saying. Get beat
Oh,
up.
Am I gonna get impaled? Okay. All right, that's not good.
I wore the Demolition.
I love her gimmick.
We probably told this
Maxi
before.
Taylor. Their gimmick, yeah.
We we went to Chiller Theater like
Yes.
2008,
Mhm.
and Demolition was there. So was the Iron Sheik. He went to
He was
hold,
next to them,
He
yeah.
went to hold my son, and we said no. Like no, you're not.
Because we were thinking, oh, he's gonna hold the kid.
Yeah.
That'll be $25.
Or throw the kid.
my ex is like
Fuck the kid.
my ex is like why
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Guys a chicken.
why can't he? I'm like no, come on, let's go. No. But anyway, so he pays for. We get a picture with Demolition. He pays for it, and they put the fucking vest on
Yeah.
me.
Wow,
And I was
Like,
wearing
I
an
paid for-
Ultramanus black t-shirt.
Nice.
Who did wrestle Demolition with
Yeah.
Jakara in the gauntlet?
Yeah, during the King of Trios.
Mhm.
So I mean, that's like the golden era, and then you get like Edge and China winds up winning a Jericho a bunch of times. Angle,
Eddie.
Chris Benoit.
Ooh, Eddie was
underrated.
Eddie was a good Intercontinental champion.
Eddie was a good
underrated.
everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Eddie wasn't Eddie and Kurt Angle. That was during the IC championship run.
No,
No, that was when
WWE.
Eddie was a WWE champion.
Okay, that was a
Yeah.
great. That was a great.
That was
Eddie
WrestleMania
actually
20.
did defend the IC title on the Indies against CM Punk though, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
Really.
Yeah.
And Ray too. I think
Yeah.
Ray.
Well, that was a different match. That was a triple.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
that
that was the IWA Puerto Rico.
Who did he?
title.
Who did Guerrero feud with during that? Like one of his biggest.
China.
China, yeah.
Yeah, China was.
Didn't
a
he
big thing.
steal the title from her?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
It was him and Jericho was over it. Then him and Rob had a ladder match for it at one
Yeah,
point.
I think it was Van
That's when
Dam
the
was
fan
champion.
comes in. And Eddie
Yeah,
punches
like
the fan.
Edmonton.
Yes.
He's wearing like an Oilers jersey.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Eddie had a great run.
Chris Jericho and China were co-intercontinental champions for a
Yeah.
minute,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember that too.
and
Dude,
then
China-
Hardcore Holly got involved.
So China was believable as champion for
She
me
was
as a kid.
As a kid, I thought
Well,
Totally
they also
makes
didn't
sense.
put her
Mind
in with like giants. They put her in with people
Yeah.
like Jericho and
Jeff Jarrett.
yeah.
I never had a problem with her. I liked.
No.
yeah, I was
I
a
liked
fan.
her.
Apparently, that was something Ted Turner said in an early meeting when he bought WCW. Like they're like, "What do you want to do, Ted?" He was like, "Why don't we get a big broad to come in and beat up all the guys?" Like, okay, Ted, you go to bed now.
go lay down.
Here's your medication,
Uh,
Ted.
Okay, we're gonna have Asia in about.
brain.
15 years.
That's right.
Wow.
Midnight.
Yeah.
Midnight. Speaking of Harlem Heat 2000.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Chris Benoit. Obviously, they don't really talk about Chris Benoit, but he was another.
Again, take the
big
art
champion.
from the artist.
Yeah.
He was a great artist.
That's right.
One of the all-time title changes on a SmackDown was when Jeff Hardy beat Triple H,
Yeah, that was
and
great.
it really elevated Jeff Hardy.
Mhm.
He didn't
for a
keep it
minute.
long.
No, he kept it for 6 days, and he
Yeah.
lost it right back to Triple H.
That's
'cause-
when the belts flopped.
yeah,
Back and
this
forth.
was the early 2000s, and Triple H did not like to lose.
Yeah.
That
I
was
don't
back
think
when
Triple H
people on the
ever
internet
liked to
hated
lose.
him.
Yeah. Remember
Yeah.
when they hated
Yeah.
him for a long
Remember, he was
time?
the enemy, and then NXT came around.
He was the
and he
Cody
was the good guy.
Rhodes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
Then NXT made him babyface.
Yeah, he was like, Triple H is holding all the really talented guys.
What were they
down,
called?
like,
Cold Dad Paul or something?
Cool
yeah,
Dad Paul.
Cool Dad Paul. Yeah.
I want to
That's
get a
like
cutout. I want to get a cardboard cutout or just a sticker. Like if someone can just Photoshop me the sticker, the Triple H point, and we could just like.
Oh yeah, that.
Every photo we take is like Triple H pointing at us.
Triple H
Oh,
That would be
that's a
great.
fun idea.
Yeah.
I guess that's
They'd probably
over.
get
Right?
copyrighted at some point. Like they'd probably try to sue.
So when Rex Steiner
But,
wins the
yeah.
NXT title, there's not going to be a picture with
It's
Triple
gonna be him
H.
and Pritchard. Like,
It's not going to be Triple H and Von Wagner. He's fucking
It'll
nailed.
be bald Sean with one eye looking in the other direction.
Why didn't they have that? Is that the Beverly's kid?
Yeah, that's,
Why didn't he
Cal
just use
Bloom.
the name Beverly?
I know, yeah. Even if he's Vaughn Beverly,
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, some stupid.
Bob Beverly's.
Bob. Bob.
I still need
Bob
someone to
Beverly.
explain the logic to me that if you walk into a locker room and a guy's getting beat up, and if you try to help him, you get his spot in the title match.
I gave NXT 2.0 a chance. It's not. It's not.
hot
I think I'm
garbage.
done.
It's hot garbage.
It's not going well.
I gladly call that episode 1. This is hot garbage.
We're all rooting for Rex Steiner.
I didn't
Yeah.
mind.
That's about it.
I didn't mind episodes 1 or 2. I didn't mind them. This one the other night, or was it last night?
Not good.
No, 2 nights.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Last night. No, Tuesday night.
Wasn't that episode 2?
No,
That
it's
was
3.
three.
That was
We're at
3,
3.
and it was garbage.
Hot
One good match.
There was one good match. Yeah.
I forget who Roddy wrestled, that Australian guy who jumps out of planes and shit.
Oh,
He looked like they had him dye his hair because he looked like mini Dexter Loomis.
he's one of the Mighty
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
Kneel
yeah.
TM61.
yeah.
He's the one that didn't go to New Japan.
No,
Yeah,
it's
no, not Shane
That's
Thorne.
not Shane Thorne.
Oh,
It's another. I think it's the other guy that was with them.
Shane Thorne.
Oh,
is
He was like
a
Brendan Vink
Crocodile
for a second, then they
Dundee
changed
gimmick.
his name. I forget his name now, but yeah,
it's
he
probably something stupid.
had a match with Roddy that was okay, but the women's tag match was very good. It's weird that they seem to they are going a little more risque. It seems you had like Dexter Loomis pulling out condoms.
Condoms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
didn't
that
someone
was
say
great.
fuck, but it was beeped or
They
shit?
Someone said shit.
Braun Breaker said shit. And it was
Yeah.
No,
nothing.
so I think you're right. I think somebody did say fucking. It
Yeah,
was
it was
Oh,
beeped.
yeah.
It was beeped. Was
Yeah.
it Roddy? Somebody.
Somebody did, yeah.
somebody. They said, yeah, they're trying to go risque. They're trying to bring back the Attitude Era.
And it's super gimmicky. Like this Andre Chase thing does not work.
No, no.
He's
That
like-
would work
he's
in the
Dean Douglas.
90s.
He's
Yeah.
No, it didn't work. It was Dean
Oh,
Douglas. in
the
90s.
mobster. Who's the mobster?
Oh, Tony D'Angelo or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
That's a
He's
dated gimmick.
debuting next week. Yeah, he's doing the.
That's not gonna.
Hey, I have family in sanitation.
Just wait till like Vince is like, let's have a wild Samoan on. Let's do
Well,
it.
they just signed Jimmy's the Usos' youngest brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
He hasn't
It's like
been
Sifa Fatu.
Yeah,
I think is his
Sifa.
name in the Indies. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be eating fish on NXT 2.0.
Yeah.
Not being able, he can't speak English. Who can't?
He has a hard head. You can't hurt him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's good.
All right, let's get to the IC.
So I mean, then you have the more modern, like there's different eras, and I think one of the good ones like Regal, Van Dam, which kind of treating the
Yeah.
title for a while, and the Miz. The Miz is really like a bridge to this era. Randy Orton had a great reign. Carlito was a champion for a little bit. Ric Flair right before he
Yeah.
retired. I always love that promo they have. Like he's just really laying in the Carlito. Like I wish I was as young as you. I
Yeah.
wish I had all the potential you had. Like and
No,
you're blowing
dude,
it.
I think a better promo than that is when him and Triple H are feuding, and Triple
Oh,
H
yeah.
brings it up, and Triple H is like, you know what made me sick when I'm watching Ric Flair in the ring crying because he won the Intercontinental Championship. Like it was so below him, like it made Triple H like sick to see it. He was like, oh, it was great. It was so great. They had a blood feud over that. That was awesome.
Johnny Nitro, John Morrison. He had a few good runs with the title.
Then we get
Johnny
like
Drip Drip.
Santino
Yeah,
territory.
speaking of people who got
Umaga.
buried, speaking of Santino and people who got buried by Triple H, Umaga.
Yeah.
Umaga had the big run with the title.
Is that when he killed Steve-O?
Yeah, he might have been
Oh,
the
I
Intercontinental
forget
champion
that,
at that point.
Oh yeah, he was. That's what happened. Yep.
Yeah, because you had Santino. That was his debut. He won the Intercontinental title in his
He
first
was
time
just
on
a
the
fan.
roster.
Yeah.
He was just.
I-
he
I-
wasn't
We're in
goofy
Italy.
yet. He
I
wasn't
listened
goofy.
to the podcast with him on Renee about
Uh-huh.
like his whole career and how he came in super late and like and everything his whole journey. And they were like, he just said, I remember that Dusty made a phone call to somebody and the guy thought he was being ribbed. And they're like, can you ride a motorcycle, baby? And the guy's like, no. And he goes, can you learn? And he goes, no.
Yeah.
He goes, can you speak with an accent? And he's like, no. And he goes, have a good day. And the guy hung up and the guy's like, fuck, that was really Dusty. So he goes, learn. He goes, what I learned that day is whatever they ask you if you could do, say yes.
Yeah.
So,
So they went to him like, do you know Italian? He goes, yeah. And he says, I literally on the plane there, I was literally
He had a
studying.
Russian gimmick before that.
Yeah, Boris
yeah.
Lexi.
Yeah, he goes, I was studying. Well, he took that name because of his trainer or something like that. The Russian name. like his trainer in Canada was Russian, and
Oh,
he took like part of his name or whatever.
Did he talk about Cornette
Boris.
smacking him.
What?
Did he talk about Cornette smacking him?
No,
Hey,
they didn't.
hey,
They didn't talk
baby,
about
can you act like you're scared of the booger man?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Morello.
I can now.
Morello's
Gorilla
Gorilla
Monsoon's their
Monsoon's
last name.
Yeah.
And Santino, that's like there's been a million Santinos
Yeah.
in wrestling.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good interview with Renee's.
There's a Santino Brothers. Is that
That's a wrestling school in California.
did that predate that?
It might have been around the same time.
Okay.
Santino was the R-Truth of like his era.
Yeah, they just
Well, that's what he said. He goes.
strictly comedy guy.
He said, "I don't understand why more people don't lean into this comedy thing. It's fucking easy. It's
Yeah,
easy money."
It is,
You
but
just
then
have to accept that you're never going to be.
yeah,
yeah, you're never going to be
a
taken
champion.
seriously.
If you don't care
you could be a mid-card champion
about
maybe.
how your image in professional wrestling is, then yeah, you would do it. But like if you want to be like remembered
it's like-
fondly,
It's like New
Yeah.
Japan putting Yano in
Yeah.
the G1, and every year makes me want to blow
Yeah,
my
like,
brains out because I
Yano.
hate that he's upsetting
I
people.
still think you could do
It's just-
comedy and
it's
still be
just-
taken serious.
If
And
you
still,
can do that. You can be the
you
Rock
can,
funny.
but
There-
no one's gonna look
yeah.
back at the Bushwhackers the same way they look back as
Yeah.
Legion of Doom.
There's a difference between Rock funny and R-Truth funny.
yeah.
And Rock funny can be your world champion. R-Truth would, as he is now, will never be a world
Yeah.
champion. I mean, he's 52. So
Well,
he's
yeah,
mid-50s.
it's-
But
but-
still, I mean,
either way.
he's still a champion and everything.
Yeah.
But he was NBA champion, but that was he wasn't being goofy talking.
Yeah,
about
he wasn't.
Jimmy.
Yeah. Once you are there's a difference between being a wrestler who can be funny and being a joke
goofball.
wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're a joke wrestler, you're never going to be the world champion.
Like Gangrel hates that Big E's champ. Hates that he's champ because
So does Cornette. Cornette's not huge on it.
yeah, but I mean we expected that.
Yeah.
But Gangrel, because I was watching his podcast, and when that was brought up with Big E, and he was like, "Ugh," and she's like, "Oh, you don't like it?" That his Kid Cadet, which is his co-host, and anyway, he was going on and he's like, "No, I don't like it," because he's for years he was just seen as a joke character, and how you're going to take him serious now? Like now all of a sudden he's going to just be serious, like
I don't think he
or
has to.
drop
be.
it.
See, I think that's what I really like about the New Day is that they are breaking those stereotypes of masculinity, and you can still be masculine but still have a kid heart and be fun and be positive and care for your people. Like they're like everyone wants to turn heel, like we won't do it because that would go against it would go into the trope that everybody would want us to do. He goes,
Yeah, it's just
the whole idea of you see a group of black men uplifting each other, and he goes, everybody wants us to be heel and turn on each other, and that's we want to be the exact opposite of that.
Right.
Like I'm into what New Day does.
They were good.
How
heels, though. They had
how
good
Big E
heel, huh?
can be strong, powerful, turn on and be serious and fight somebody like you want to challenge, and like he can still do that but still be goofy.
The way they're booking him so far hasn't done him any
Oh,
favors.
absolutely.
They're
Like,
booking him really.
and
good.
I said as soon as he won, I said I don't trust their bookings.
They
Yeah.
haven't been booked very good for
A
years
long
now.
time.
but when
Yeah.
you're talking about people like Gangrel or Cornette, they're just they have old school
yeah.
way of
Yeah.
thinking, and you're not going to change their thinking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of older
Yeah,
people.
so you can't comedy don't print money or whatever.
Even
Funny don't
CM
make
Punk-
money, yeah.
even
Funny
CM
don't make
Punk-
Coming from the guy who his
CM
gimmick's
Punk.
a vampire.
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
and I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, and there's a reason Gangrel was never the world champion either.
Right.
Yeah.
But CM Punk even said in a promo, he's like, listen, things have changed. Like, I don't get Orange Cassidy at all. He's like, I don't understand his gimmick. I don't know why he's popular, but he is. So great.
Yeah.
But like,
You got to look at it
even
at some
him, he
point and be
doesn't
like,
get it.
it's not for me, but it's over.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
Yeah. but Cornette's never going to do that. But well, also for one thing, it's his
Gimmick.
It's
shtick.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need a Cornette's approval to like wrestling.
Yeah, you shouldn't have anyone's
You should tell
approval.
my-
No,
you should like
tell
what you
my
like.
co-host
Yeah.
that. He needs to hear that. My
Like-
co-host needs to hear it. You don't need Cornette's approval or everything.
I
Yeah.
love Cornette, but yeah, like
Yeah.
I agree with everything.
Like there's
he's
literally
about wrestling.
people who literally who wait to find out what he says to see if they're gonna like be okay with it or not.
Well,
Yeah, they're the opposite of people who wait to see what Meltzer says.
That's
Yeah,
how I feel
yeah.
with Brian Last is. I feel Brian Last just parrots what he's going to say, except for like a
if you
few.
generally
He's
watch it
trying to
and,
be
you,
his Robin Hood.
and whatever
A
you
few, yeah.
generate as a feeling, fucking go with it. You know what I mean? Like if
Exactly.
yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier about watch. If you watch something, you like it. You like it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to. You don't have to check. Well, it doesn't go with my normal,
Yeah.
ideology. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Or F word it. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys curse.
No, you can
Yes.
curse her.
A good match is a good match, in my opinion, man.
Yeah.
I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, for example, death matches aren't really my thing. I don't want to see, Nick Gage and John Moxley cutting each other with pizza glass. That's not really what I'm into.
Yeah.
But if they put on a great match and during that match they cut each other with a piece of glass, it's a great match.
Dude, I
That's the
thought
only time you ever hear Nick Gage and great match in the same sentence.
Yeah.
I thought that I'm not saying that either. That's another one we might run into one
Oh.
day.
I love Nick Gage. He's the best.
I don't want to be in this.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
My favorite Nick Gage match ever is that time he wrestled in the Cage of
Jericho.
Death. Yeah.
Jericho. That-
No, that was, it was at CZW and it was against
Cardone.
Tony Cardoni.
Um,
Justice Payne.
Yeah, Justice. We saw Justice Pain and Nick Gage when they were like kids in a staple gun match.
Oh boy, that's
Was it a break the barrier?
It was a break the barrier. It was like 1999.
I was a fan of hardcore and death matches when I was a kid, and then like going to shows and becoming friends with them, and they're like, "Yo, we're gonna go in there and dive through a table." I'm like, "You don't have to."
Yeah, you
But-
don't have
but
to
let me ask you a question about Nick Gage real quick.
Mhm.
When we were at Break the Barrier,
Uh-huh.
did Nick Gage get stabbed in the fork with a or stabbed in the lip with a fork by fucking Abdullah the Butcher?
He could have. I don't know.
But
what
no,
happened
he
backstage.
didn't. But I did.
Oh yeah,
I did. So fuck him.
I met Lou Thez.
I mean, unless you get him on the show, then love it.
yeah,
Love
I
him.
love Nick Gage. He's amazing. Anything that was said bad, that was Jack.
Yeah.
No, I actually like Nick Gage, but I
yeah.
get what Tyler's saying. It's not really my cup.
He has a
tough.
specific style, and it's not for everyone. Is
Absolutely.
what I'm saying.
I will say this though, very shocking how like progressive and open and accepting he is to like everything. Like I would like I totally pinned him
You would
down
think
for a
he's
stereotype.
a dude around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, pro
No,
LGBT.
he looks like a crackhead.
He's from South Jersey.
Mhm.
He's from where my grandfather lived. Actually, he's from around near where Buddy Rogers is from.
Yeah, National Park, New
You know,
Jersey.
little side thing. Buddy Rogers was a police officer in National Park, New Jersey, and so was my grandfather. My grandfather was chief of police in National Park, New Jersey. So they were on the same police force, but not at the same time. And that's where Nick Gage is from. He's from like that
yeah.
area. There's a lot of people that they have a certain way. They have like this toughness, but you sit and talk to them, and you're like, oh wait, they're real people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other cool thing is Nick Gage has carved such a niche for himself where
He has.
he's like, if you would have told me in 2006 or 2007 or whenever he was in jail that, oh no, in 2019, Nick Gage is going to be the most popular baby face in independent
Yeah,
wrestling. He's going to be Hulk Hogan, basically. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And he did it.
Yeah.
And that's such a testament to the guy. And they're like GCW and how they do their booking.
And he
everything.
leaned into support from his fans.
Yeah, no,
He got a bigger pop than Homicide.
Yeah.
Nick Gage-
that homicide debut was a
Yeah.
flop
Nick Gage
and a
is-
half.
Nick Gage, the way he has reinvented himself has been amazing. And all hats off to GCW for what they've done.
Yeah, they stuck with a guy who, instead of when he's down on his luck, instead of kicking dirt on him and saying we're done with you, the company was like, no, man, like let's get you clean, let's work with you. You know what I mean? And that's cool. It was cool to
They
see.
did it a couple times, which I would have
Yeah.
cut ties.
It's tough, man, but it's kind of like family. Like if you have a family member, if you ever experience a situation where your family or someone you care about just can't seem to shake drugs or get through it, and you're like, fuck it, this is the last time, man, and then you're just like, fuck, I can't turn my back on them, and it's
No, I can't.
yeah.
Really?
That's me. Yeah.
See, me and my girlfriend have that same argument all the time. So I personally have family members that deal with that, and she's always like, "How can you keep just like dealing with them?" I'm like, "They're my family. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it is what it is. You just, I don't know."
Yeah. Another weird side tangent. Let's get back to the IC title.
We're getting close to present day, and the closer you get to present day, the less
Daniel Bryan.
That was one of the times where like we're really going to make this a serious thing.
Yeah, when he won at
And-
WrestleMania in the multi-man, 6-man.
Yeah, it was like a ladder match, 6-man ladder match. Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens was involved. Dolph Ziggler, R-Truth, Dean Ambrose, Stardust.
Oh,
Kevin Owens was not in that
Rockstar.
match.
The can of Rockstar.
Yeah. So he wins it, but very shortly after he gets hurt, and that's when he had to retire. Ryback wound up winning it in the
Ugh.
Elimination
Yeah.
Chamber.
Ugh.
One of the worst elimination chamber matches ever, man. That match
And one of the
Yeah.
worst people ever.
Yeah,
yeah.
Ryback.
he sucks all around.
The steroid guy,
Yep.
CM Punk.
You can say it. I don't think we'll ever run into him.
I'd be shocked if we run in the Ryback on our indie travels to
Ryback
the
makes an
indie-
indie comeback. Oh God,
I didn't get the whole
I didn't get it either.
like marching
yeah.
thing. And
I didn't understand it at
My-
all.
I never
Favorite-
watched him.
My favorite thing they ever did was when they were starting to push him a little bit again, and they did the breakup promo with Axel. It's my favorite thing ever either guy ever did, and I think they only ever put it on like Twitter and stuff.
they tried doing a Goldberg thing with him, you
Yeah.
know, where and then people start chanting Goldberg
Yeah.
at him.
He was popular for a
hot minute.
small window of time where he really was over. Like they could have made him world
Mhm.
champion. He was that over.
Yeah,
you know?
wrestled
Yeah,
CM
I-
Punk.
I was
He was
not
on Punk
watching.
was
I was
when he
not
year
watching
long.
wrestling at
He
this
just
time.
was green as shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he didn't get any better.
but then they put him in a team with Curtis Axel, and they were just a jobber team.
Did CM Punk ever win the IC title?
Yes, he did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. CM Punk won the Intercontinental title. I had it here, and it's gone.
Once or
I think
twice.
he won it twice.
Yeah, he won it in
He
Wow,
beat,
you're going really far up that list.
2009.
He beat
Wow.
Regal.
He beat Regal, lost it to JBL, and then did he win it again? I don't believe he won it again after that. But the Ryback thing, we're so many different because you think of these guys as champions and they did this other stuff. They were like an awful tag team, and then they were starting to push Ryback a little bit again. And he's like, yeah, one of these days we're gonna. He's looking at criticize like one of these days we're gonna get back together and Lose.
remember he switched from a singlet to like trunks, and they tried to push him again.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah, it was around this time.
You're still a bad
And
wrestler.
Curtis Axel, he's another one. He was an IC champ.
Yeah, that was when he was a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah,
And-
he just couldn't get over.
And they had the thing where he wrestled Triple H, like Triple H had a heart attack or something, and then he ended up actually having
was
one later.
terrible. That was terrible.
Yeah, so just more recently, all the Shield guys won it a bunch of times. Kevin Owens, Zack Ryder had that memorable win at
and
WrestleMania.
lost it the next night.
The next night to the
Yeah.
Miz, yeah.
That was just for a pop. So
Yeah.
stupid.
It was stupid.
Was that the one where his dad came in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Vince got pissed. I think Vince got pissed at his dad coming in.
Yeah, I think he was always supposed to win it for one night anyway.
Yeah, it was.
Which
I think it was always going to the Miz next night because
it's like a thank you. And then he was. Remember when he was not on Raw for a whole year, and then he finally said something. They put him on one, and he was happy. And like,
because a lot of the
but now I
stuff
like him.
with this brand extension split roster thing, it's like you kind of get like lost. Oh, was that the IC title or the US title?
Yeah,
and
I couldn't tell you who has either right now.
the
IC is
Nakamura?
Shinsuke, and on US is
Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Is
Damian
it?
Priest. Yeah,
Oh wow,
Yeah.
how about that?
Priest is doing great.
Yeah, he's having
He's
some
doing
good matches.
Fantastic, man. Every
Mhm.
match.
And
he has every week
Nakamura.
is great.
the 24/7 championship has been defended more times recently
Oh,
than
God.
the Intercontinental.
You had Biggie do the run, and then you had Apollo Crews win it at WrestleMania.
They weren't even at the last two shows. It wasn't even defended in the last
They
two
probably
shows.
forgot about it.
Yeah, IC title.
It's a shame.
It
Well,
is.
no, it's because it's a Japanese guy, and they don't.
Well, even if he didn't have it, I mean,
Like
when's the last time they did anything with the IC title?
I don't
Dude, when
watch
he did the
SmackDown
I
a
don't
lot.
speak English thing, I fucking love that.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
I don't watch SmackDown a lot, but the one time it's like Rick Boogs come out and he's playing the guitar, and Nakamura's out there dancing with Pat McAfee on the table, and then they just go back.
Yeah.
Like they weren't there for a match, they weren't there to announce.
Yeah.
They just came out to
I kinda like
compose
that.
and dance.
That was the
funny.
MSG. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that
MSG
was it, yeah.
Like he just came out just to do that.
But yeah, as far as like the people who have spent the most time as champion, as recognized by WWE, we went through Pedro Morales, 617 days, The Miz, Don Morocco, the Honky Tonk Man with only one reign, still the longest reign ever.
463 days.
453
Wow.
days.
That will never be broken in modern era.
Oh, no.
because
No.
No,
They hot.
if
They can't,
Santino couldn't do it, nobody can do
Yeah,
it.
the honko meter.
The honkometer is dead. Number 5, Tito Santana, 2-time champion,
Really?
441
Wow.
days as champion. Razor Ramon, 4-time champion, 434 days as recognized. So if there was like TV taping,
Yeah.
like kind of how they say the New Day has the record for the longest tag title reign, but it's really Demolition
Yeah.
because they won it on a taping. Then the Ultimate Warrior, two reigns as champion, 434 days.
Jesus Christ.
So that first reign was almost a year. He won it at a WrestleMania, lost it the next year at SummerSlam. So that was he lost it the next year. No, he won it at a SummerSlam, the first SummerSlam in
Yeah.
'88.
88.
Lost it at WrestleMania the next year to Rude. Won it back at the second SummerSlam, and then lost it at the next or
Gave it up
vacated
after he
at the-
beat
at the
Hogan.
next-
Yeah.
So he was basically champion from 2 periods from SummerSlam to Mania
Mhm.
in 2 years in a row.
That's great build for a world champion, except
Mhm.
he wasn't
Oh,
a
yeah,
very
for
good
sure.
wrestler.
The second longest single reign was Savage, 413 days. Mr. Perfect, 2 reigns, 404 days. Shawn Michaels, 3 reigns, 403 days. And then that's a tie for 9th place. And then number 11, Wade Barrett
Oh wow.
was a champion for 5 reigns, total.
5 rank? What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
When?
he was a 5-time
Holy
champion.
I
shit.
remember Miz beating him at WrestleMania 29 because we were
he
at
made
that
him
one
tap
too.
out the figure 4.
Yeah, in the
Crazy.
rain because it was starting to rain.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. And then it
Mhm.
stopped raining. And then
Unless you're Okada and Suzuki and you have a 35-minute class in there.
2 other
in
people.
the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great match.
At
in
the
ring. You
Suzuki
should check it out.
anniversary
Yeah.
show. Yeah.
that's great.
That up.
On his Titantron thing they do in AEW, they have him in the rain.
Yeah, he wore all
In the
white.
white trunks,
Yeah.
yeah.
How many times? Jericho's won it 9 times, and he's all the way down this list.
Jericho, 9 times for a total 311 days. They're all short range.
Yeah, probably
That's
because they had him flip it in a couple weeks.
And then besides the people we mentioned, the only other person to have the title for over a year combined, over 6 reigns, Dolph Ziggler,
Okay.
Yeah.
363 days.
Dolph's another one, man, where like you don't really think about him that much, but
Mm-hmm.
he was a great IC champion.
Didn't Biggie lose it to him or beat him for it? Wasn't that remember they were all
Yeah.
together and then Biggie was like,
So
"Beat-
the AJ
apart."
was with them too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
AJ
When
Lee.
Biggie punched AJ in the tit,
Did he?
like he was like coming down to the ring, and he was
Oh,
like,
okay.
he fucking
Fresh.
just swung his hand, he punched her right in the chest, like hard, and she just like no sold it.
Now, the first time Biggie won it was 2013. He beat Curtis Axel.
Okay.
I know the one person that beat Dolph for it, great match, it was a ladder match. Or maybe Dolph beat him. No, Dolph beat him for it was Luke Harper, Brody Lee. It was
Okay.
in Cleveland.
That-
It was a ladder
honestly,
match.
That was one of the. I can't believe I didn't even think of that. That was honestly one of my favorite things I got to see. Even though it was a dark match, even though it meant absolutely nothing, I got to see Brody with the fucking IC champion
That's cool.
in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania,
That's
do a
really
dark
cool.
match, and
And Ziggler, that was in Cleveland, and Ziggler had the old Browns logo, that goblin looking thing or that elf looking thing on the back of his
Mhm.
trunks.
Him and Kofi had a great rivalry over the title. Like they switched it
Mhm.
back and forth.
Yeah,
Like,
Kofi was
2 or 3
another
times.
one who had a ton of reigns.
All right, guys, we're getting close here.
Yeah, that's pretty much the history of the Intercontinental title, unless anybody else.
There was that DVD that they put out like
Yeah.
2005. That's pretty good
Yeah,
DVD.
I have that DVD. Yeah.
What's your favorite title design?
the classic,
classic
one.
one.
Yeah.
Class, yeah, that's.
I-
With the red WWF on the top.
Which
Yeah.
is weird. Mine's the new one.
I like.
Oh, see,
I like the.
the new one ain't bad.
It's not bad.
I love the design of the new one. I think it looks like prestigious, but
Mhm.
they don't treat it like that.
No, of
I
course
feel.
not.
For me, the titles that were there, like, I just because I'm a bias and I'm a Sean guy, but like Sean's run of
Yeah.
belts, like the Eagle,
Yeah.
that IC title, the
Well, for me, it's-
European Championship, like the everything in that. I like these titles.
It's the same thing for me, except the European Championship because it was just a bad title.
Yeah, it was bad.
That time because it's when I was starting to watch.
Sean
it.
was a good European
It-
champion, though.
If we're
Oh.
talking,
Nobody
he
was.
wasn't.
Nobody
He
was.
never defended it.
Yeah.
he
Didn't have to.
here's no, because this is a perfect example of Shawn Michaels. This is exactly what Shawn Michaels was like back then. British Bulldog was a champion, and he was supposed to win the match. It was a pay-per-view that was just in England. He was supposed to win. He dedicated the match to his dying sister, and then Shawn's like, "That doesn't work for me, brother. I got to win tonight." That's Shawn Michaels
And then
right
he had
there.
that belt in the world title. At
And
the
then
same
he
time.
lost it on purpose. to
He's an
Triple H.
opportunist.
That's why it's so crazy when you think about Sean, because then when he comes back, like now he's
Well, a
Jesus.
lot of the things he said too is he goes, when I was coming up, those big muscle guys wouldn't sell for me. They wouldn't work for me.
I'm sure
Nothing,
there's some
nothing
truth
ever
to it,
worked for them.
sure,
I couldn't get over on them. I couldn't do anything. And then I got a little bit of power and I got fucking high on drugs. And then when these fucking big guys would come to me and be like, oh, and he'd be like, fuck you. Remember when you wouldn't do it for me? Go fuck yourself now. Like,
Which
and he would be
I
like,
get it, but that's not.
and he's
a
like,
good
if
attitude
I
either.
feel like you couldn't
Yeah.
outwork me, or if I truly felt you weren't better than me, I'm not dropping the title to you.
So
Is it wrong?
everybody,
Yeah, and whatever happened to that guy, that Shawn Michaels dude? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where he ever going? Like,
That's why it was always so weird to me when Sean came back. Like he only won the world title once, and they never put any other like belts on him. Like he could have been world champion.
I
multiple
think they
times.
felt like he was one of those guys that didn't need
Did
it.
they win the
Yeah.
tag titles when they were wacky DX?
DX, yeah,
it was
they were-
Goofy
yeah.
DX.
That sucked.
If you want to talk, and I guess we were talking
Because he
about,
wouldn't say suck it or anything.
Yeah, it was Christian Shawn Michaels. They even
Yeah.
joked about it.
Sean super kicking those random people when Triple H tries to get him to come back.
Oh, that was
That
funny.
was
that,
Yeah.
that was.
great.
I don't know controversy.
I think if we're talking about classic like great
one
matches,
one was actually Sean Spears. He was the last one that he
Yeah.
super kicked with Sean.
Yes, he was. He was Stan. He was the first one he super kicked.
Oh, was he the first?
Yeah,
one?
he was
Yeah.
the first one.
That
I
was the most interesting thing Sean Spears ever did in WWE. His little 10 gimmick sucked. I hated that gimmick.
I think if we don't bring up Savage Steamboat WrestleMania 3, we'll go to Intercontinental Championship Purgatory.
Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the classic great
Yeah.
match of
it's
that era.
still good if you watch it.
Still
today.
very
It's Still
good,
a
yeah.
great match.
Trying to think of other really great matches. Both the ladder matches with Shawn and Razor.
Rollins and Ziggler had an Iron Man match in Pittsburgh. It was the main event
Oh.
of
Was that the one where people just started they turned on the match and they just started counting down at the end of every minute? I
Yeah,
think
I
it
think.
was.
that was when Drew was still Dolph's like muscle.
Oh, remember when
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre was chosen one?
Yeah.
Intercontinental
Yeah.
champion.
He's gonna be the future.
Yeah. Then we'll fire him.
I think
Well, first we'll make him a wacky air guitar. and then we'll
Yeah.
fire him.
So here's the Sportsters top 10 list. Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley, WrestleMania
Oh,
35.
God,
sure.
no.
Don't know why that's even there.
okay.
That's when he wore the contacts, right? The green contacts.
Probably.
Yeah. Savage versus
I
Ricky
already
Steamboat,
don't trust
9.
this
Number
list.
9. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I already
Wait,
don't
this
trust this
that's
list.
number 9.
Yeah.
Bret Hart versus Shawn
Hold on.
Michaels.
Can you just print this list out and rip it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, it says forgot. Yeah, Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect, 7.
Okay. Is it
Seth
maybe it's
Rollins versus
backwards?
Dolph Ziggler, 6.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
backwards.
Balor
In
and,
no particular
Lashley
order.
is the
But-
best
Randy Orton,
ever.
Cactus Jack, 5.
Very good.
Okay.
That was a good one.
Miz versus Roman Reigns.
Get out of here.
Raw 25th
I'm about
anniversary
to
show.
walk off of the show. I'm walking off. I quit.
This is the one
Bret
with,
Hart,
like,
Davies, Boy
15.
Smith.
That was
3.
great.
Okay.
Rob Van Dam, Eddie Guerrero, 2.
Oh, that was good.
That was
I
good.
think it was a ladder match.
And Razor Sean, 1.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
That list a
But
little
overall,
wacky.
But Savage Steamboat,
overall, that was
9?
pretty
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
Underrated match. If you want to fire up Peacock, maybe
Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'm gonna say this was the second best match this guy ever had. Ultimate Warrior Rick Rude 2, the
Yeah.
one at SummerSlam.
Yeah, it is good.
Where
the cage
Warrior wins the
match?
title back. No, this was the one where Rude wins the title back.
Was
Yeah,
that
or Warrior wins
the feud where they were doing like they had this the poses? And
Yeah, like Rude wins the title at WrestleMania 5, and then Warrior wins it back at SummerSlam '89. Very good match. Rick Rude, that's like a Gonzo bomb.
Is that one Rick Rude has his wife's on his?
No, it was Jake Roberts.
Oh yeah, it was okay.
But no, Rick Rude does like looks like he's gonna go for a power bomb, but nobody did power. But he's going for a pile driver, but then like falls on his knees and Warrior like slides down.
And Warrior has no idea what's going
It's
on.
like the ravishing driver in '89. It's like, whoa, that's a great match.
Yeah.
That's why he should have been world champion.
Yeah,
To get a
Rick
good
Rude should
match
have been
out of
world
the
champion
Warrior.
3 times over.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap this up, boys. Andy, what do you got to plug?
Nothing really. I have no shows except PBW next week.
Yeah, the
2
9th,
weeks.
October
When is
9th.
that? October 9th.
October 9th. Dirty Dancing.
Yeah. Dirty Dance. That's the only show for October because I know the Sanctuary when they have the Friday night fights. Last Friday.
Last Friday of every month.
The
And you can also see Andy every Tuesday
Mhm.
on Truth Behind Illusion and Not Cool in High School. Did you see the new logo? The little. Don't say anything about it. But have you seen the photo of it? Of
which one?
the one that you had. I had to get you a photo of.
Oh yeah, I also seen another one too that you didn't see.
Oh,
Yeah,
I seen a preview of it.
yeah,
but
it looks pretty good.
Yeah. 2 new logos coming. Yeah, all right. Tyler.
Follow me at All Yaz Wrestling on Facebook, and then check out my podcast, the Don't Sell It Wrestling Podcast.
All right.
Don't sell it,
Jack.
Terry.
ProjectHumanoid.com. We have 2 shows on there. We have Murder My Dude, which is our true crime podcast, and we have an upcoming wrestling / whatever podcast called Cheesesteak Suplex.
Yes.
Yeah,
have it
awesome logo.
I have it on my phone.
That is the logo. The podcast launches this Saturday and this Sunday at midnight. Anywhere you're going to find this podcast, Anchor, Spotify,
I'm gonna
Apple
make you listen to
Podcasts.
yourself on the Harmon Leapfrog.
Oh, please don't.
Yeah, so it's hosted by me and Brian,
Yes.
and we have those.
I made him listen to himself on the way home from Philly one time.
Oh, boy.
I hate listening to myself.
a lot of people do.
I pick apart everything bad I said.
But the thing is he just needs to get over it. That's all. Just listen to it. I don't like listening to myself either, but I started listening to it. And what I said to him was, when I listen back to our shows, I listen like it's like it's not us.
I can't do that. I just listen back. I am the worst
You
person who's ever put a
separate
microphone in
yourself,
front of their
yeah.
face.
Nah,
I-
you have to separate.
When I listen to myself hardcore, I fucking change the show 14 times every 2 other texts because I was always over criticizing myself.
Yeah, that's what I will do.
But you should
can't-
be like, okay, that I'm not going to do this next time.
Well, I try to do that early on, so I don't think I do the or the thing as much as I used to, because I learned how to pause when I don't know exactly what to say next.
Mhm.
It still slips through, but
It's okay.
I've made small improvements, but there's certain things like I'm never gonna be able to fix.
National Podcast Day. We're talking about our struggles. Yeah. But yeah, check out the IWEP network. You can go and grab some merchandise for everything here. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Like I said, check out the rest of the network. If you are watching, you made it this far, please give us a review. The new webpage, if you go to podpage.com/Tornado Tag Podcast, even if you're not an Apple user, you can go on that website and you can leave a review that'll go to Apple.
Yeah.
We want to start reading reviews. All that stuff really helps. We hit, I think 4 or 5 times now, we broke inside the top 250 on wrestling podcasts in North America, which is super cool. I don't expect it to happen again, but the reason it happened before is because you guys listened, and the best way to go up those rankings is listens on Apple and reviews. So if you have a platform that you can do that, please do so. If you head over to YouTube and help us with some subscriptions over there as well, that would be awesome. But that's pretty much all I got. Thank you guys so much. You can check us out live every Thursday on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. So that'll do it for us at Tornado Tag Podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Here is some Billy Trey. We're out of here.